If Tobin
who got excited.
I don't want to be.
Oh my God! What? Where? It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
What is
no,
Tahim?
Yeah, that's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still on the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof I'm alive by the motor. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what? What is a star? Like another city, the driver's side Flagg. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never
Of course.
a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Good morning, everybody.
You see, I got my combo shirt on.
I do. It is a very beautiful
Vice
jersey.
Friday
Vice
and the
Friday
Marlins.
and the Marlins. I got Vlad repping the Marlins as well. Unfortunately, I'm not up to date. I didn't get the memo because I'm a loser. But you know who's not a loser? Those Miami Marlins, baby.
Yep, and the Heat. We got a
Let me
tell
tell
you.
you.
if the Panthers win tonight,
That's
that's
free food for
a
a while.
clean sweep of South Florida.
You think about it, not only that, not only did the Heat win, so that's you guys can use my code Heat win for 50% off Papa John's. We also had 2 free throws missed, so that's free Chick-fil-A. If
Where?
if
Where?
you get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich in the app every time somebody misses 2 free throws at a Heat game.
Oh, word?
Yes, sir. So that's
Hey.
that's 2 chicken sandwiches.
Can I
that's
just
a chicken
tell you-
sandwich. And then now we
No,
need Huey
dude,
Magoo's, baby.
We don't need to order from downstairs.
Nah, man.
we just.
Now when my team's balling like this, that's a full course meal.
I tell you what, the Heat have played 2 of the best games I've seen in a while.
Yes, indeed they did. The Heat also victorious yesterday against Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Like Leroy said, better performance of the season. Unfortunately, they're putting together these performances. You can look at it one of 2 ways.
They're messing up the church's money.
Oh, hey, listen. Hey, the ping pong balls are slowly disappearing in front of me. I'm not gonna
They're
lie.
messing up the church's money when you're doing that.
It is rough, but I'm not surprised that the Miami Heat decided let's just win because we want to win. That's just the type of franchise they are. Personally, I wish they would have tanked, but nothing we can do about it now. The Heat put together their 3rd straight victory behind an excellent performance from Tyler Hero, some contributions from Davion Mitchell, Khalil Ware,
Pella.
Pella. It was a solid win. Alec Burks.
Hey,
it was really a lot.
Can I just tell you?
Yeah.
Do y'all watch these games like I do? Every time
Scared.
I see Khalil playing for a substantial amount of minutes
yeah.
and see his contributions, even though I see some times
Oh, you
where,
get pissed. You get pissed at
yeah, hey,
Yeah, of course.
because there are times where he looks a little lost, as do all rookies. But your franchise right now is not in a place to be playing games with young talent. Because, like I said before, I don't want this leading into next year. So, if you're going to take your bumps and bruises with all your young talent, is this not the year to do it? Here's an interesting concept. And I ain't saying it ain't happening. But here's an interesting concept. If a young player comes to your team that has talent, but he seems lost at times, isn't that why we coach him up?
That's why we coach him up.
Instead of sitting him?
Yep.
And I get it. I get it.
How many
I get
games
how
are left in the
frustrating it is because
season,
you're
Leroy?
so used to having a veteran team.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Time
You
to
got
change.
a whole bunch of young talent. You got to get them going.
Absolutely. And how many games are left in the season, Leroy? Do you know? Like what? Like 10?
9?
9?
I know.
9 games left in the season. And now we're seeing, the payoff of the development of Khalil Ware. When this could have happened midseason. This could have happened by All-Star break.
Right. If you Like, find a way to get through to him. That's what coaches do. I can't do it. Sometimes I can when I talk to young guys or whatever. But that, in effect, isn't that what your job is? Get the most out of your talent.
Now, if I'm Leroy and Tobin, I'm so upset right now. Now he's playing well, and my rookie bet. Now the rookie bet wants to, now.
Hey, what's that looking like? Yeah, that's too late, right?
It's over.
Too late.
They could have
should have cashed out a long time ago.
But who knew Spo was gonna,
sabotage the bet?
Yep.
I just think, sometimes, and look, it happens to all of us. Sometimes we get caught on how we do things. It's worked. And it's really hard to change something that has worked so long with how you do things, how you approach, the season, but I would say what makes this team so unique is that this is the youngest Heat team that they've had in a very long time. Very long.
Bam Adebayo is OG.
Right. Your approach has to be different. How you go about it has to be different. It's no different than, remember all those hard-ass coaches, in the early 90s, and then when they got to the late 90s and then the 2000s and things start changing.
Yeah.
Oh, now we can't just, you do it because I say it. Some of these guys make 20, 30 million. You got to have a conversation with them. You got to motivate. You got to get them. And for some guys, that's not, how you do things. But isn't that part of the job? That's part of the job, to figure out, how am I going to get across to this young talent to maximize what he can do for us?
Yeah. It is. It's been
instead of you not doing your job, go to Sioux Falls.
Yeah, 2002 minutes. You're out of here.
Yeah. Yep. Like guys like Pella, I let him fall out.
Yeah. What am I missing? Like, that's fine. I will say the biggest story in sports, in South Florida sports yesterday.
That's where wait.
What happened?
At no point in time did any of my conversations suggest that I know more than Spo. But I did say this: isn't it the coaches and the organization's job when you draft talent to find a way to get the most out of them?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Now, yesterday's top story in South Florida sports, of course, Jessica no longer employed by the
Hey.
Oh man.
Hey, wait. Vlad.
What are we doing?
Why was new Jessica giving you googly eyes?
Oh, I don't know.
Vlad,
Did you go talk to him?
I didn't know.
Did you go talk to him?
No, man. He was so heartbroken that Jessica wasn't there. Like, come on.
Third inning.
You like, yeah.
I said
It's time. It was empty as usual.
So I knew it was the spot. I know the spot. It's right next to the team store. It's right there. Boom.
Almost looks like you entering a bathroom.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, wait a minute, is there more restaurants now? Like, I just remember it was just like that bar, and maybe another food spot, but there was like
there's more stuff now.
Yeah, there's like more sports stuff.
Oh
like,
man,
you got kind of lost.
Yeah, and I'm walking. I'm like, there. Oh, but then that section was there. And I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
And then I walked in, and no Jessica.
No Jessica, dude. No Jessica.
It was like more of a
really heartbreaking.
It was like more of a Janine, but no Jessica.
What's crazy is like, Marlins are probably down at that time.
And they were. At that
everything
time.
is just like
everything went. I was like, oh my God. Jessica wasn't there. But it was a great atmosphere, great crowd last
nice crowd.
Yeah, 31,000. It was 31,000.
Was it 31,000 leaning towards the Pirates, or was it split?
No. It was 31,000 leaning towards the Marlins.
I love that. I love that.
There
That's a good crowd for a team that nobody knows.
Oh, it was great,
Absolutely.
man. Nobody knew. No, nobody knows. Nobody.
No.
That's why when they when we interviewed Clayton McCulley, he was like, he looked so happy that he saw that many media people like wanting to interview. No,
Right.
I don't think it got that much coverage probably during spring training. So the fact that they won that game and it was a come from behind victory, it was great.
Oh, they said Dan Marino first pitch.
All right. So we all know Joe.
Okay, break it down for us, Vlad. Break it down.
please.
Okay.
I have video. I'm gonna send it to JFig and then JFig. Yes,
Ooh.
I have video. I wanted to record this.
Nice.
Poor Joe Rose hardly got a mention at all.
What?
Hardly got a mention. Yeah.
Our boy. That's messed
Yeah.
up.
The announcer, they were just, it was all about Dan. It was all about Dan. They showed Dan's highlights and everything, and obviously the first touchdown, which was caught by Joe Rose. Right? There's no denying behind home plate, up in the press box, you can spot Joe Rose's big head. No doubt about it. Didn't have to wear an 80 jersey. I knew it was him.
Okay.
Joe didn't get a chance, you could tell, to blacken the hair. There was no, The grays
Salt
were
and
there.
pepper, baby.
Yeah,
Salt
it
and
was
pepper.
all salt and pepper. He didn't get a chance to, no. The shoe shine was not on the head. Dan threw a pitch. It was a good pitch. Now, Joe can't bend. Pause. He can't get in a catcher stand, so he had to stand. Pitch was inside.
Oh,
Pitch was inside.
all right. Well,
Pitch was inside.
Joe had to move his feet.
I'll just say that
Joe didn't have to move his feet. No, it went,
Okay,
but
okay.
he had to move his feet, but his hand had to
Yeah.
go. His hand had to go. So
Yeah,
the
look,
batter,
Did he
batting
throw the
right,
heater?
Yeah.
for what Dan could throw at that age, it was a heater.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a good
Hey,
good
that's
pitch,
solid.
but inside. It was inside.
Okay.
That's solid. I'll take that. I've seen worse. I
No,
mean,
no,
we've
it
all
was
seen
no
worse.
50 cent. There was no 50 cent. No, Dan got it there. Dan got it there. Joe did a good job of catching, as always. He's a receiver, so good job. But yeah, great job. Great job by everyone involved.
Look, it was a historic day for the Marlins. Not only was it the first walk-off of the season, it was the first opening day walk-off in Marlins history. It was a day of broken streaks because the Marlins had lost 7 previous opening day matchups. They had lost 7 in a row to the Pirates.
Not to mention they faced their ace.
Yeah, absolutely. They had Skeens out there. I mean, we had our guy Sandy.
No,
who,
but Sandy was good. Sandy was great.
Yeah.
7 strikeouts, his first start after missing last season with the injury. Obviously his control wasn't there, but Sandy was good. It was a good pitching matchup.
Yeah.
Beautiful day. It was good. It was good. Hopefully these guys can continue to win, start building some momentum. But
Now, here's where we are with the Marlins. I'm going to say this. And right off the top of your head, nobody's going to be able to answer this. Who's the second pitcher on that staff?
woo!
Wait, usually we could go two, 3 deep on any roster, right?
Yeah. Now I'd
The
say
Marlins,
Yuri.
like-
I know Yuri's not healthy.
And I'm not, and here's the kicker behind all of this. Not knowing damn near any of the players will not stop me from turning on the Marlins game. Will not stop me from watching baseball. Especially when I see the kind of grit that they showed me on the first game. So now I'm interested, right?
Yeah.
I don't know any names other than Sandy. But I do see they're feisty, right?
oh, that's it. That's all we were talking about.
Right.
Little feisty, gritty, gutty team.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the one that
You know what this sounds like? We should nickname them
Hmm?
the Intangible Marlins. Not
No,
because
but-
because we don't know anybody.
Because they're really intangible. Like
They're
they're really,
intangible.
really
we don't
do.
know. We don't know. We don't know. Like who's first base? That dude. That like
Yeah. You know him.
okay. Here's another. What position did the guy who hit the walk-off play?
infield.
See what I'm saying?
Ah,
I mean, I'm right.
So
He
that's
gave
safe.
me-
Oh, that's it. That's
in
good.
fairness,
That's a safe way-
in
that's a safe
fairness
way.
to the Marlins,
Yeah.
I need to pay attention a little bit more. It looked like we got, a couple of dogs on the team. Now, in years past, that would have ended up being 6-2.
Well, can I just say the guy who hit the game winner, not necessarily a dog. He did start the game with 2 strikeouts, and I think
Well,
he was
that's Paul Skeens.
That's
Well,
Paul
of
Skeens,
course,
right.
of course. But even in spring training, I think he was batting 175.
But he had a good eye.
Oh yeah, they did. They did say that. They did
No, we
say
asked
that.
him that.
They
We
did.
asked
Dude,
him that.
hey,
We did ask him that.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude batted 175 in
But he got a lot of
spring
walks
ball.
in spring training. He
He
got a
was
lot of
working
walks.
on some stuff.
Working
In
on some
spring
stuff.
training. He was working on some stuff.
Good eye.
Yeah, we're gonna hear from some of the Marlins a little later on in the show as well. We're gonna hear from some of the Heat players.
Oh,
Vlad was
yeah.
boots on the ground, so we got to get some of that sound. We
We
can't
got
have
the
him out there
Heat.
going there for nothing.
We got we had our first game going to overtime
Yeah,
in
we got
the
some
NCAA
college
tournament.
madness to talk about.
No,
Yeah,
no, it was the second game.
was it?
No.
Yeah, Maryland went to overtime last week.
Oh,
No, I thought
okay.
I thought they won at the buzzer. Or was that buzzer in overtime?
No. I think the first game overtime was last night.
Really? Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I had,
But
I had
they had a couple of buzzer beaters. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty close.
Yeah, I believe it was. I believe it was the first overtime action. And man, was that a heartbreaker for them.
Oh yeah, because they had a
Razorbacks,
16-point lead.
16-point lead. That's rough. Speaking of Maryland, did you guys hear that guy, the one who hit the game winner, the buzzer beater, Derek Queen, I believe?
Yeah, he got a
NIL.
NIL with Dairy
With
Queen.
Dairy Queen.
That makes sense.
That's amazing.
Hey,
that
And
is
he
amazing.
looks like he's had some Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
It's my kind of. Hey, no, he said it. He said it, not you. You're good.
Yeah.
You're
I
good.
said it. You didn't
Hey,
say it. And
say
by
it.
the way,
Hey,
today's
hey,
Friday.
let
You
me
could-
let me tell y'all something.
Can't shame on Fridays.
Let me tell you something about friends,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I'm watching the Heat game, and lo and behold, here comes the text.
As
And you
usual.
know it was coming. Woo! It's got to be hard for Leroy today watching George Niang play.
Woo! Niang is Leroy's kryptonite. That is the most bad-bodied player.
And then it don't help none when the announcers say, "You got to attack George Niang. He can't move his feet." And I'm like, I wonder why.
Okay.
I said that inside.
Yeah, of course.
I
of
didn't
course,
say
of
it
course.
outside because
No, of
that
course.
might have been a violation. Right?
That's great.
I'm like,
That's
I'm
great.
like, I'm sitting there watching TV, going, watching it. Nope. Everybody looking at me. Why you shaking your head? Nope.
Nope.
Not today.
Look at that. JFig's already in the chat trying to get you caught up. Today on the show, we also have Doug Plagens, who's going to be joining us. He'll be joining us in the 12 o'clock hour. We get to talk some hockey with the voice of the Florida Panthers, potentially eyeing a Brad Marchand debut today for the Florida Panthers.
I hope so. Hey,
So.
Nobody's gonna score if when all them guys come back, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
What do you mean? Who's not
only
gonna
one puck.
So no,
on the team.
Marchand. Then when when
Bennett.
Tkachuk comes back,
Yeah.
Tkachuk has some of the brutalest injuries in hockey.
Oh my God, yeah, broken
The
his
last
sternum.
couple of years,
The man plays.
he broke
Brutal
his
sport.
sternum.
Yeah.
And now,
groin. Rough.
groin is the worst, dude.
Yeah,
Groin. I would tell you this: serious muscular injuries are sometimes worse than a broken bone, because while you think there's a timeline, there really isn't, because you could get up from your chair and re-aggravate.
These headlines were brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. When we come back, 15 minutes of heat as we discuss the third straight victory in a row for your Miami Heats. We'll hear from some of the players and the coach himself when we come back. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It is 15 minutes of heat here. 15 minutes of heat, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida, get the star treatment because we want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Yesterday, your Miami Heat took the court and were able to come out victorious against the Atlanta Hawks, although things did not start necessarily too great for your Heat. Throughout the second and third quarters, they put together a run, I believe beginning that third quarter on an 18-0 run, which eventually was stretched over to a 20-0 run with a couple free throws from Kel'el Ware. A lot of action tonight from our boy Tyler Hero, who put up 36 points and did everything that we needed him to do, to be honest, in regards to, like, you need him to start fast.
How many did Bam have?
You know what? I don't even remember him having too much of a impact on
just look at in
12 points.
And I believe this.
Yeah.
In order for this Heat team to be competitive both now and in the future, okay,
Yes.
you have to be able to get at least 60 from your three guys.
Yes.
And if you see games in which they've done that, they've been really competitive.
Yep. If you combine the three scores from Bam, Tyler, and Andrew Wiggins, 36 from Tyler, 16 from Andrew Wiggins, and 12 from Bam Adebayo. Quick math, Leroy, how much is that?
12, 16 is 28 and 39, 36, 74.
64, right?
64.
Yeah. 64. So that's the sweet spot right there that you want. 122 points. Well, you know, the Heats have been known to struggle to get to 120 points. So, you know, it's a good output if they're able to get that.
Well, when you just watch it, it's okay if the other two don't have 20, 25. If somebody's hot and you feeding them.
Yeah, for sure.
Tyler had it going, so you feed him. So he gonna have that 35 plus game. Wiggins had it the other night, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bam is a guy that he does a lot of things, and depending on who's on him, the other night he cooked.
Yeah,
so
100%.
But that consistency right there is what is going to help them win games in the future. Now, all the other guys, what Kel'el does, what Duncan does, what Davion does, what Burke does, what those guys do is, you know, that's what you call, our bench points or what have you. But if I can get, 60 out of my 3 stars, you are now able to compete with anybody. And if you look at the games where they've struggled, all those guys haven't scored in the teens, right? Like, no. Go look around the league. Go look around. Go look at Luka, LeBron, and who's the intangible?
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, right?
Yeah.
So when you have that,
I love that. Who's the intangible?
Right.
Right now, Austin Reeves is king intangible, though.
Right. But so, I mean, I don't think I'm off in saying that, just from watching basketball and seeing how guys, win.
Yeah.
How many times we see a guy score 50 and nobody else score at all and they don't win.
Yeah, it's usually a sign of a bad team for sure.
Right. So I like the way they're doing 2 things.
Yeah.
Everybody is hitting the stat sheet, and they're feeding the hot hand. And so with whoever that hot hand was, it's been Bam, it's been Wiggins, and it's been Tyler, right?
Yeah, as it should be.
Right. And that's and I think what they're starting to do is identify that and feed the guy. I mean, what was it last game? How many times they said, "Oh, Bam's cooking this dude against the Warriors. Bam's cooking Green.
Bam
Let's
was cooking.
go. Let's go."
Yeah.
Right?
Feed that
That's
man.
what it is. But that's what it is, right? Find a mismatch, and that guy got to come through. They're doing a better job of that now than they were earlier in the season when you're trying to figure out who's doing what.
Yeah. Now, we got to hear from a few of the members of the Heat yesterday who have been echoing sentiments of Erik Spoelstra for the past couple weeks. Ad nauseum, we would hear Erik Spoelstra assure us after every loss that good things are happening here. Great things are happening here. And it would piss us off more than anything because it's like, all right, buddy, like we just lost our 10th in a row. What do you mean good things are happening here? But apparently,
good things are happening. They just wasn't happening long enough because the game is 48 minutes
absolutely.
And y'all were doing it for 35.
Let's hear from the head man himself. Erik Spoelstra talked about yesterday's win, but he said that the process started gaining traction 3 to 4 weeks ago. This is the Heat head coach.
Well, yeah, like I said before the game, the process really, we started to see it, gaining traction, 3-4 weeks ago. Yes, we had to conquer some demons in the fourth quarter, but you take those first 3 quarters, that offense was, that's the vision of where we wanted this thing going. It's not going to be all perfect. We're trying to put this thing together in a short period of time. And with some of the injuries and Wiggs being out, and we're not making that as an excuse. It's just that's kind of the reality. Some of these things take time, but we're seeing tremendous progress with our offense. And it's not just based on the result of the wins the last 3 games. Our fourth guard offense was better tonight, but the process was better. The last 2 games it was better. Even before that, the Houston game, I saw a better process. There was pain from the loss, but the process was better. And you keep on doing it and doing it consistently, then eventually, hopefully, the karma, changes.
Karma.
Basketball karma. Karma of the game.
There's no, dude.
Oh, there's karma, dude.
Can I just tell you something?
I'm ready for our frozen envelope karma.
As long as I've been in sports in my life, I've come to this conclusion.
Yeah.
You're not owed anything. I don't care about juju, karma, or whatever. You can do everything right and still lose.
Well, I mean, what do they say?
Those are the breaks. You got to keep at it. You got to keep identifying where it went wrong, and you got to fight through it. I will say this. They've all toed the same line, but the way they've played on the floor would reflect that they're still fighting through this. They're still willing to put the effort in to win. There's no guarantee you're going to win. Like I say this all the time with guys in the draft, with guys getting drafted and stuff like that. You can make the right decision and it not work out. And I don't know why people think just because you think you did right, that's going to yield the best results. You can do the right. Listen, I use Deshaun Watson as an example. The Cleveland Browns weren't the only team willing to throw a boatload of money at Deshaun Watson. They were not.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins were.
And that's why, and that's why Cleveland had to come over the top with it.
Yeah.
Which at the time,
thank God they did.
Which at the time, if you want the guy, what everybody say, if you want the guy was a couple of extra million, right? Now it didn't work out. So are we gonna then come back and say They always make bad decisions. Okay, they made the right decision because they wanted the guy, they paid for him, and it didn't work out. So, like, yeah, you can do everything right on a basketball court. You can do everything right. How many times you hear a pitcher say, I threw a good pitch and he hit it 400 feet. I can't do it. Like, yeah, my location was good. Everything was great. I changed the speed on it and he timed that thing up and hit it 400. So, like, yeah, we need to get over the thing of just not even in sports. Like, everybody thinks, oh, if I work my butt off, I'm going to be successful, or I'm going to get what I want, or I'm going to have the job that I want. There's so many people in life that have had success in other areas other than what they were planning for their whole life. So just because, hey, we got good habits, we're doing things right, that doesn't guarantee you a win. And so I get what he's saying, but I don't buy into the karma thing. Like, karma, no. Like, there's teams that do a lot of things well and can't find a way to win. That's what
I mean, that was us. That was us for a while.
Yeah. So, like, I'm glad to see it turn around. They are playing. It almost looks like they're playing better together. They got a better feel for who likes what, right? You got a couple of guys that on the defensive end are just unbelievable. I love the fact that they put Davion Mitchell, then they had Wiggins, then they had Bam. One time they had Kalel on Trae Young.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Wait, and guess what? If he shoot it from the logo and make 3 threes in a row, there ain't nothing you can do about that.
Nope.
That ain't karma. That ain't nothing. You doing everything right and dude is making 35-foot threes, so be it. And that's the thing about sports.
Well, it wasn't enough yesterday for the Hawks. Spoelstra just mentioned that this process started gaining traction 3 to 4 weeks ago. Bam Adebayo, who has also been, pretty positive during that losing streak, kind of mentioned the same thing. This is him talking about how they didn't let go of the rope, and now they are streaking.
We didn't let go of the rope. We've been pushing that, since we've been on that 10-game losing streak. Like I said, you never know what can happen. We didn't let go. Now we're streaking.
I don't know if I can say streaking after 3 games, but I get it. I get it.
Hey.
I get it. Just staying positive.
Listen, the one thing you can say about Bam, Spo, everybody in that organization, the message has been consistent. So I'm going to give them credit for anything that they say about the process without really fully understanding what the process was. I'm going to give them credit for that simply because they have been consistent with the message from the first loss through the 10th loss. And that in itself is something to be to like something to celebrate, because how many teams and how many players and how many athletes do you know would stay that consistent with the message?
Not me. I said Spo was washed. Immediately, first chance I had to hop off the bandwagon, I did.
Yeah,
it was not looking pretty.
No, it wasn't. It was not at all. But again,
kudos to them.
I would say this. I've been on a team that was 3-13. And I'm going to tell you, the messages coming out of that locker room were not the same as what was coming out of the Heat locker room. Our coach got fired. Yeah. And his last comments were, and I remember them well because I was a rookie.
Yeah.
He said, Bud Carson stood up on the little thing right after another loss. He said, man, there's been rumors about me getting fired. rumors about me losing my job, rumors about the organization needing to move on from me. And he said, I'm going to tell you this. If I'm getting fired, I'm taking some of you sons of bitches with me. That's no lie. Let me tell you something. And all eyeballs went.
Damn.
See,
Well, that's because they had power back then. Not now. Coach can't say that now. They'll laugh at him.
No. In fact, somebody on social media be kicking rocks down the street.
You see?
So, like, one of the things that I should be celebrated about this organization is how it's very hard in an organization to have one message, right? Regardless of how bleak it looks. They have always been this. And in the end, this will pay dividends both when things are going great and when you hit a bump in the road. You know?
Well,
So-
we got a win from the Marlins. We got a win from the Heat, and now we're looking forward to a potential win. 4th longest winning streak in the NBA. That's a crazy stat.
No,
3
no,
games?
come on.
Okay,
Hold on.
okay,
Hold
no,
on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me say this. If anybody else would have said that,
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, okay, let's go. Smeathan, as long as you've been with us,
Yeah.
your ass ain't never said nothing positive. So how the hell we supposed to take that spot? Like, yeah, we supposed to take that as a positive. You ain't never said nothing positive.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you say that, and we just went, oh, 4th long streak. You fell for it. Where's the punchline, Smeathan? Where's the punchline? It's coming. Where is it?
He's gonna go from 4th largest win streak in the NBA to 4th largest waistband in the NBA. I know it's gonna be something.
Wait, me?
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait. Me? Me?
Wow.
Hey.
Schmeathan's
like-
taking personal shots early.
Yeah. What does it say? If I have the longest streak, like I'm chasing you, buddy. I'm chasing you. Because you in the Hall of Fame.
We come back. We're going to talk a little bit of Florida Panthers as we follow them on the road to repeat. That and much more on the Tobin and Leroy Show. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. This is Road to Repeats, which of course is sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius, the official energy drink of your
Florida Panthers.
That is right. And your Florida Panthers will be back in action today. That is right. You can catch the coverage right here on 560 QAM. We'll actually be speaking to voice of the Florida Panthers, Doug Plagens, in the 12 o'clock hour. He will give us all the latest on Brad Marchand, tell us how Matthew Tkachuk is healing up, and how these Florida Panthers will attack the remaining games in their season. So look forward to hearing from him. We will also get a standings update to see how everything's looking within our division and all things Florida Panthers. Make sure you stick around. That's going to be, again, in the 12 o'clock hour. Leroy, is this the first? No, I was going to say, is this the first season? I don't think you've gone to a game this season, have you? I know I haven't, unfortunately.
The Panthers?
Yeah.
No, I haven't gone.
Vlad, you been to a game this season?
Of course, I go to every game.
Oh,
well, not every game.
I was just saying, I thought you usually produce them.
I'm usually producing, but yes, I've been to many games. I probably won't be to any game until the postseason starts.
Yeah, it's fair. That is fair. There's not too many. Just like the Miami Heat, their schedules usually run similar. I know they only got a couple games left in the hockey season.
They got the same amount of games left.
9 as well?
I think they got 9 or 10. They're right around the same,
Well,
I know the hockey postseason lasts forever.
Well, that's because the Panthers usually go farther.
And they also do a lot of game 7s.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of game 7s for sure. After this matchup against the Utah Hockey Club, we got a back-to-back against the because there's a day in between, but the Canadians will have a home and away against them.
Bless you.
So bless you, good sir. I know we had a couple days off, but the Panthers are about to be back in action, ramping it up. Get a lot of games in a short amount of time. So they're aiming for their 7th straight home win. So, maybe we'll get it done against the Utah Ukuleles.
Been giving up a lot of goals lately.
Stop.
It's gonna work. It's just gonna work.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's gonna work eventually.
They've been getting up a lot more goals than we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, for sure.
The last couple of weeks.
I mean,
yeah, but Bob's been focused.
Yeah, he's been focused, but the defense is still.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That is the problem.
Trying to get healthy, and hopefully, we get a guy back from his suspension in another month or so.
Yeah, exactly.
He got less. How many games has he served so far? He's like halfway, right?
Like 6. Hold on.
He's got like 19 games.
He's still got like 19 games left.
No, he doesn't.
Bro,
No,
it's quite some time. It's quite some time. Ekblad suspension. It wasn't a short one. It definitely wasn't a short one.
It was 20 games.
20 games. Okay.
20 games. So he's
he's he'll be back. He'll be back. That was on March ago. Yeah. So
2 weeks ago. So he's got like 11. Now, question.
Yeah.
When the postseason starts, do those games count or do it only count regular season games?
No, I looked that up. Postseason games do count. They do count.
So
yeah.
So he'll be back at some point during the playoffs. Yeah. Do they do like football and let him practice like?
Like bring them on slowly, or like you can't participate in team drills or something like that.
Right, correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. Maybe we'll ask Doug when he comes on. He can give us more information on that. We're already.
So when he got suspended, they played 64 games. So how many games?
They had 18 left. So he's out.
The first 2 games of the playoffs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's easy work.
No, but I'm saying, can he start practicing before then? That seems like be crazy to come back just cold turkey.
Vlad, don't kill yourself trying to find that answer. He does this thing with hockey where he just asks like layers and layers.
I don't know.
Wait. Am I the only one that's curious about that?
You
No,
just
that's a good question. They may be Leroy. I'm gonna check it. You know why? Because that's a damn good hockey question.
no,
And I
it is
know
a good
there's
hockey
guys-
question. It
there
is.
was
It
guys
is.
that want to help you, so I'm gonna look into that.
No, it's a great question.
I
Keep
appreciate
it to yourself,
Vlad.
please. Keep it to yourself next time.
Instead of people just ridiculing and mocking me for wanting to expand my hockey knowledge.
Yeah. Well, we have an action-packed show ahead. Hour Tua when we come back on the program. ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy. It's Frog Week, ladies and gentlemen. It is Frog Week, and we are ending strong. Vlad, a true professional, found out the answer to Leroy's question. Ekblad cannot practice with the team while under suspension. No team activities, not even team meetings or friendly little luncheons.
So
Yeah, he's got to go in basically cold turkey there, Leroy.
Cold turkey, dog.
I mean, obviously he's training. You know, you come on,
You
Yeah.
get it. You get
I
it.
never been suspended, but
No, but you had teammates that were suspended,
Yeah.
and they probably had like some guy who's like getting paid $18,000 a year to help him with the training and the game plans and all of that when you were playing the NFL. So it's probably the same thing in the NHL. They probably got somebody.
the thing about hockey is ain't a whole bunch of places you can go get your work in on the ice.
You can skate.
Yeah, he's at the Pines Ice Arena. If I'm not mistaken. He's up there.
No, they're at the they're at the War Memorial.
Oh, that's
no,
where
he
they are.
can't go there.
No, but Ekblad
Oh, he
is at.
can't. Oh no, he has to go back to the old spot, probably.
Yeah,
Nah. He's going to Galaxy Skateway.
Coral Springs. He's got to go to Coral Springs.
He's going to Hot Wheels and Kendall. Let's go ahead and get to some headlines. These headlines are brought to you by our friends over at Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, you can choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. We talked about it in the first hour. Your Miami Marlins victorious on opening day. That's right, baby. Honestly, if we could just end the season right now, I believe that may be one of the highs of the season.
That may be it.
Maybe it for the boys, but we will do some more research to determine if any one of these spring leaguers, I don't know any of these players, but if anyone has the guts,
Kevin Stowers, baby.
let's go, baby. Gritty. This team is gritty. A couple other things from yesterday's opening day.
Did you see how the Lakers lost?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did. I did indeed. And of course, our boy Tobin is taking this opportunity to bash JJ Redick as if like
That was his fault.
I mean,
let me see if I can click. So there's about 15 seconds left.
Correct.
Right? The Bulls have the ball. They make a three. So now there's like 12 seconds left.
Yes.
The Lakers are taking it out.
LeBron turns the ball over.
Turns
the ball over.
Bad pass.
Was it Kobe White?
Kobe White gets it.
Makes another three. Now they're up one. Right?
Mhm.
The Lakers call a timeout, run a play for
Austin
Reeves. Austin Reeves takes to the hoop, makes it.
Yep.
So now they're up one. And then
the guy hits it from half court.
A Bulls intangible makes it from half court.
Oh, get it.
Either way.
All within 15 seconds.
Let me speak about this intangible.
Giddy?
This guy has gone from possible, oh my God, this guy's a slime ball to, oh, wait a minute. They were just throwing some dirt on his name to, oh my God, he's actually a pretty decent player.
Yeah, I mean, you remember when he played, he had what, 30 when he played with the Heat, against the Heat.
But what he's doing with the Bulls and another team that's messing up the church's money. They've been messing up. They traded
Levine.
Zach Levine. They try to put in all the new guys in. They try to get the first pick so they can get Cooper Flagg. No, now these guys are gonna get in the playing game.
Strange.
Another one.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to get these athletes to turn off the competitive nature, but you got to look at the big picture, guys. But, you know, to each his own. I'm sure they're all also in the process of earning contracts for other teams, so I can't really blame them. I wanted to give you guys some interesting notes from yesterday. You tell me what you think about these things. For just a multitude of things that happened yesterday. Some of it March Madness, some of it baseball, some of it basketball. Pacers yesterday scored 162 points. Wow. That is just a crazy, just like that's all-star kind of numbers. You know, the Pacers
without breaking the record on threes.
Yeah. That if I'm not mistaken, like the past 3 years, ever since Halliburton really came into his own, that's been a high-paced offense for sure. But 162 points, I can't even imagine a Miami Heat team being able to score.
Wizards, bro.
For sure.
Wizards, bro.
162 is 162.
It's 162.
You could get a buck 62 on that team. They're not playing defense. Their defense is Ole.
They understand the idea of the tank. Another interesting stat from yesterday: Tyler O'Neill of the Baltimore Orioles extended his own record with 6 straight opening day home runs.
Damn, he's hit 6 opening days home runs?
6 in a row.
Now that's a streak, bro.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Being that you can't extend the streak until next year.
Yeah.
But it don't matter. Like, you just know that's a given.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point you might want to play a wager on him every year now when it's opening day that he's going to hit a home run.
That was the first comment I saw. The first comment I saw was, where was this statistic before I placed my bet? Record yesterday. You guys were talking about record number of 3-point shots. Yesterday during March Madness, Alabama sets a record with 25 threes. Mark Sears hitting 10 of them.
Now, Leroy, this was the best example of what happens when tangibles go against intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
they look like whirling. They look like whirling dervishes out there.
I think BYU's neck kept on doing this.
Yeah,
like he was just blowing right by them. It was like,
and then let me say something about intangibles. Listen, I love you. Y'all.
Okay,
but you're not doing yourself no favor when intangible puts the headband on. Then you go to like superhero intangible.
It's
right.
Go to Jackie Childs.
Yeah.
There's only one intangible that is allowed to wear a headband. Only one intangible ever who has rocked a headband, and I've been okay with it. And I think that's Mike Bibby.
So not Bron?
No.
Intangible
headband.
Oh, intangible. Oh, Mike Bibby's not an intangible.
He's mixed.
Well,
he's no. Austin Reeves the only intangible.
When he does that though, like I respect his game, but he looks like a 2K creative player. Like whenever I'm like, which intangible is Austin Reeves? I look at
what
which
about
guy
Tyler?
Has the most stuff.
When Tyler wears it, good job, Jukebox.
What's his name? Tobin gave Tyler like a Karate Kid nickname.
What? Daniel LaRussa?
He gave him a nickname when he wears a headband. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Or when ball guys
Jackie
wear
Moon
headbands,
thank you. Not
it
Jackie.
just throws
Jackie
me
Moon.
off.
Jackie Moon.
Well, who wears headbands?
When ball-headed guys.
Ball-headed guys. Yeah.
No, I don't like when they wear the headband because they look like patients.
Yeah.
Number one headband.
What about when LeBron had it up to the top? It almost looked like a yarmulke.
He's trying to hide the receding hairline. It's not his fault.
That was
he got to go with the boozer.
No, I'd rather you hide the receding hairline than go with the boozer. Good God. Let me tell you this. I know he's no longer there but those 3 days he was doing on ESPN, it bothered the hell out of me, Leroy. Seeing how you put Beijing on the beard.
That was strange.
You can't put Beijing on the beard.
His beard was meshing to his black turtleneck. It was strange.
It's as though it looked like he was painted on.
Yeah,
like when he get home, he go take off his beard and put it on the on the mannequin.
Like it's part of the outfit.
Art Basel. Okay, real quick. This is probably bad radio, but I want to know top headbands of all time. Top 5 headband wearers of all time. I think Allen Iverson has to be one.
Nope. Sweetness.
Slick Watts.
Oh,
Sweetness. Come on, that whole team. Remember the whole team. All the 85 Bears had them.
Yeah. Okay. So we got.
That's
Walter
when it was
Payton,
actually. It was
Sweetness is number 1.
Sweetness.
All right. Iverson has to be there. What about Rip Hamilton?
Mello.
Mello. I love Mello. Mello with the headband.
Mello with the headband.
Are we gonna say LeBron because he's the best? But it wasn't. It wasn't kind of a good look.
No, but guys who kind of like it's what you call it. The headband is part of their
like.
I got one. If you say it's part of it, Caruso.
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh no,
wears
that was the intangible that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
But no, the
Yeah.
headband is part of, like, when you remember them, it's part of their whole.
The headband, like remember back in the day, the goggles, the glasses.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
everybody knew that was Eric Dickerson when you or
Yeah.
work
Yeah,
when
for
you
sure.
thought about the goggles. So when you think
Right,
about him,
right.
Oh,
Right.
I got a headband for you. That
I
you
got
might
one.
even think
It's
about.
old school though.
Who you got?
Leroy might know this person.
Hmm.
I'm going baseball. Rob Dibble.
What? Who?
What?
Yeah,
What?
Cincinnati Reds. They used to wear headbands
Rob.
going into
How you spell
Yeah.
his name?
Rob Dibble.
Yeah.
Dibble? Y'all make
1990s
Dibble.
when they struck
me
out the
spit.
A's.
If I type it, this is an intangible we're talking about
Yeah, he's an intangible.
with the headband.
Yeah, they used to
In
wear
baseball,
I
It was
gotta
like-
be able. I gotta go to Google Image and be able to see him with a headband on without having to search headband. Nah, I don't see him with a headband on.
Huh?
I believe it. No, I believe that you wouldn't just bring that name up for no
No,
reason.
all those brown, all those Reds, Tom Browning, all of them, they were wearing headbands.
What about Nelly? You take Nelly? Is Nelly gonna
Or
be
he's a Band-Aid.
Band-Aid? Yeah, he's more known for the Band-Aid than the headband for sure. Oh, what about Harrington? Al Harrington? Baron Davis, maybe? Baron
Charlie. What about Charlie Villanueva?
Davis? Oof.
ooh, hey,
Yeah,
but-
exactly. That's when headbands.
hey,
That's when headbands go wrong.
yeah, because he couldn't grow hair.
Well, he had a
Yeah,
condition. He has a condition.
Yeah, that's what I'm
for
saying.
sure. Hey, no, that didn't stop Kevin
He
Garnett.
looked like a
from
skinless
looking that
cat.
way.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Paul. Speaking of headband, Paul Pierce.
Vince
No,
Carter.
What?
Al Mac. Vince
I'll
Carter.
give you Vince.
Carter.
I'll give you Vince Carter, but like,
Why you
Just
don't
don't
want
like
to give
Paul
Paul
Pierce.
Pierce? No, Paul
You
Pierce.
just
You gotta
don't-
give Paul Pierce.
Come on, that's
yeah.
a headband right there. I don't. He wore a headband every team, right?
I
don't think
mean,
I
he's
saw him
also
like
the
that.
only guy that had his own personal wheelchair for once a game.
Look, he's a clown for sure. He's a joke, but you gotta
Hey,
respect.
Have you
the
ever
things.
seen that guy has pulled in his career 25 I counted Willis Reeds
Oh, coming
where
back.
he get
from-
wheelchaired into the locker room and then come back to the cheers?
Yeah, I mean, you like a little bit of drama sometimes.
Another. All right, David Beckham.
Beckham with the headband.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
No, I gotta see this. David Beckham with the headband. Too handsome to cover any of that.
I
Face.
can't believe we didn't say this guy's name.
No, you got one. You got one. We forgot. Oh, I think I got one too. Yeah.
I know that. I hope he wore 20,000 of these.
Hmm.
Wilt. Wilt.
Wilt.
Oh,
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
See, but this headband that Beckham's wearing, I don't like this one. I don't like this one. This is a cute little, you're gonna put the hair
Jim
back.
McMahon. Yeah, Jim McMahon.
Yeah,
That
but
was
I
the whole-
already mentioned
Oh,
all the
yeah,
whole
man.
85 Bears. They
What-
all wore 'em.
My boy Rasheed Wallace.
Clifford
That was it,
Robinson.
man. Cliff. Cliff was on Survivor. Strange.
He's also selling trees now.
Is he? God
Yeah.
bless him. God bless that man. All right, yeah, I apologize. I took us on a tangent with this headband thing, but you gotta learn your history sometimes. I got another piece of random news for you guys. Not sure if you saw this. Adam Silver is
What about
exploring
him?
a potential partnership league with FIBA.
They're selling themselves out. To
They really are, bro.
Hey,
this game is
but
going
you
more and
know,
more European.
Here, at the end of the day, here's what all of these guys who run these leagues want to do. For your owners, you want to try to generate as much money as possible, right? That's how you keep your job because they can get you out of there. So you keep increasing revenue, the owners are good. Okay. The players, you increase revenue, the salary goes up, everybody's happy. Now, you can complain about the methods or some of the things that they do with, for example, teams or radio, television stations or paying these crazy amounts to have games on, but in return, they want halftime interviews, after quarter interviews. You can complain about that, but then you can't have it both ways and celebrate the fact that the salary cap goes up and instead of 40 million, you can get 55 million. So, yeah, I'm not mad at him for trying stuff like that because in the end, that's his job to make everybody happy. If everything stays stagnant because you didn't try new stuff or bring in new revenue, you wouldn't have that job.
Absolutely. Everyone complains until that check comes in.
Oh, yeah. And keep in mind, here's the worst part. That check ain't for everybody.
Nope.
Right? If you on a 10-day, that check is not for you. That check is for LeBron.
Yeah.
That check is for Ant.
Curry.
So, and that's life. That's life.
So here's a question.
Huh.
So they're trying to have Europe, like they want teams. The NBA is going to go to Europe. Like we're going to have European teams now along the league, or they're just going to create their own association.
No, I think they're going to do something like a tournament or whatever.
Let's see. They're taking steps to explore. Explore partnership of some sort. This is what Adam Silver said. Basketball is the number 2 sport in Europe. Silver said, adding that the league believed this was the right time to move forward with the idea. It's widely popular, hundreds of millions of fans, roughly 50% of players in the NBA right now are from Europe. 5 out of our last 6 MVPs have been European, but there's a huge gap, I think, between the amount of interest in the sport and the development in terms of how we operate a league here in North of America. They're essentially exploring the process of creating a new professional basketball league that would rival the Euro League and the NBA. Hopes that it would create more economic opportunities on the continent. So they're trying to.
Here's the problem, though.
Yeah,
here's the problem. Here's the problem with European basketball and European sports in general. And this is how you can sometimes see the disconnect between the U.S. and other countries, right? They have programs where you can enter and be professional at 15 years old. And by the time you are ready or legal to enter the NBA, you've already gotten 3 or 4 years of professional basketball or baseball or what have you. We don't have that one and done in college, right? They tried to do something and say, okay, you can go to the G League out of high school, but you can't go into the NBA, right? So until your rules get in line with how they do things over there, right? You're never going to have the same type of enthusiasm for that because they got 15, 16-year-olds playing in their leagues, and we can't have anybody until they're 18 even consider it. And it's the thing that now they're starting to do it here in soccer with the clubs, so that high school kids now can go into these clubs and play in these 18 and under, and then kind of get to the point where now they can go right into MLS or what have you. Instead, a lot of these young kids, who was the Adu?
Freddie Adu.
Freddie Adu, remember, he went right to Europe. So we losing talent because of the rules. Until you get those rules together, then most of the young kids over here are just going to go to Europe because they can be professional and get paid right out of high school. Or the Europeans are going to stay over there because any of the high-rated players could go make some really good money in the Euro League. So while I get what he's trying to do, you got to identify why kids are staying over there and playing in Europe, and identify. And the only way to fix that is to kind of either let your young players go over there and play, or kind of adjust the rules so that you can compete with that.
Well, you know what I say. Europe, syrup, Lakers in 5. We have, when we come back, potentially a deja vu with the Miami Dolphins. With the idea of a offensive lineman falling into their lap in the first round, do we have another Laramie Tunsil situation on our hands?
Where somebody smoking?
We have a prospect that may fall in our lap and could result in some things. We'll talk more about it when we come back on the Tobin. Oh, but before we do, Leroy, please tell us about Live Golf.
Hey, Liv's coming back next week, not this weekend. Next weekend, April 4th through the 6th, is coming to Trump National Doral. And because at the Blue Monster, you know they're going big. Come and join us. We're going to be there on Thursday. And along with some of the monsters of the game, John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia, Phil Mickelson, and more. They've got huge DJ sets, epic street food, and Scott Punk Legend Sublime headlining on Saturday night. Grab your tickets now at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It is Frog Week on the program, which means since it's Friday, it's the final day. Our fearless leader, Tobin, will return next week. He should be present Monday bright and early, so you'll be able to catch him as he is fresh off of vacation. Although you couldn't tell because currently he is in our messages.
He's doing more show now than he did if he was on the show.
I just don't understand why he hates JJ Redick so much. I just don't understand. Right now, he is currently blasting him for losing in a dramatic fashion. But anyway, our show pony will return next week. In the meantime, let's go ahead and move towards this story I was telling you guys about prior to taking our last break there. The Miami Dolphins, as they prepare for an NFL draft that is probably consisting of drafting a big, ugly, quote unquote, someone to solidify the trenches. It's potential that we may have a little bit of deja vu on our hands, gentlemen.
Who got caught with the sticky?
No one yet. That is, of course, he's referring to Laramie Tunsil, who was projected to be the number 1 overall pick before minutes prior to the draft. Or was it days? Do you remember? I just know.
No, it was remember it was minutes.
Yeah.
Remember they asked him, "Hey, so is that you in the mask?" Yes, it is. And then
yeah, so that actually
but let me tell you.
Yeah.
Laramie Tunsil should be in the Hall of Fame for this reason.
For hustling.
This man has been traded for more assets than anybody.
That's a valuable asset right there.
Including the biggest trade we ever can remember is Herschel Walker.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Although that Ricky Williams trade was kind of crazy too.
They just traded all their picks from one draft.
Yeah, true.
Laramie Tunsil has gotten multiple first-round picks. So he got traded again.
But it all started with his infamous gas mask photo that resulted in him dropping into the Dolphins' lap. And of course, Chris Greer then flipped that into some picks. And again, the man has been flipped for some more picks. But if we're looking at a similar trajectory of offensive linemen that were projected to be the top prospect, and then stories come out to kind of bog down their draft stock. A week ago, Will Campbell from LSU was held as the best offensive tackle in this year's draft class, a can't-miss prospect. Then the Senior Bowl comes around and the Combine, and now Missouri has the top-rated pass blocker in the game. But Wednesday, LSU held its pro day, and Campbell had himself a great workout. But the problem, unfortunately, is his wingspan. Everyone is focusing on the offensive lineman's wingspan, unfortunately.
How tall is he?
Let's get all those measurements right now.
Let's get the measurements first, so then I can
determine if he has T-Rex arms or not. Because apparently they're making it seem like this guy's top.
They're making it sound like he's out here like a Gila monster, right?
Exactly.
Like he blocks like this.
Right. Now, I will say this.
Yeah.
If you projected to be a left tackle,
yeah,
one of the things that helps that is a big wingspan because it keeps the pass rush off your body. Usually guards and centers have less of a wingspan. You don't have very rarely do you have a long-armed guard. So if he was projected to be a tackle and then they say, we got questions about his wingspan, that doesn't mean he's not talented. It just means that somebody might not want to play him at tackle and move him at guard because of his measurements.
Also, it's not a significant number. Right now, he is he stands at 6'6", about 300 pounds, 350 pounds.
6'6".
Yeah. Now, just to give
so
you,
if his wingspan is 6'6", he's a perfect human.
Correct. I mean, because it's just
So yeah, he's just a person.
Right.
Look, he's 6'6", 324. And to give you a comparison, for example, Teron Armstead, his arm length, if you will, is 34 inches, right? And this Will Campbell, who's supposed to be top prospect, like you mentioned, tackle, who usually you want longer arms for that, came out to 32 and 5/8 when taken at the scouting combine, which
So
immediately
basically an inch and 3/8 off.
Exactly, an inch and 3/8 off, and everybody is like, "Whoa, hold on, we got ourselves a T-Rex over here, guys.
I
We
know.
got ourselves a T-Rex."
So here's the deal. And here's why I sometimes hate all the non-football stuff to determine how good a guy is. At the end of the day, you turn on the film and watch this young man play. And if he's garnered the respect of being the number one offensive lineman taken, it's because of that film. You then gonna backtrack from that because his arms are 1 inch and 3/8 shorter than somebody else? Think about that. Think about that. It sounds ridiculous, right? So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say this. I think somebody's putting that out there so they'll have a chance at one of these guys.
I'd say I would have been.
But I tell you what,
us.
if he was the number one offensive lineman,
Yes.
before they start measuring him, that means all they had was film, and that's where he garnered that attention.
Well,
if I made that determination, and then I'm changing my mind because his arms are 1 inch short,
yeah,
I'm like, no, I don't want, no, absolutely not. And if he falls,
yeah,
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Well, look, that's the plan here with this story coming out.
Because I got to tell you, Vlad, if you're a defensive player and the guy standing across from you is 6'6", 325, right? How many people standing across from him go, but his wingspan is 1 inch and 3/8 shorter than Laramie Tunsil? Or again, Teron Armstead. Who like you looking at that man, you don't care about wingspan.
The only person that's probably maybe Calais, because Calais is a bigger person than
Right.
Campbell. That's it. But other than that, nobody's gonna care. That's 6'6", 324, guys.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
a solid human being.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is an
moving that
award
man.
winner too.
So-
yeah, you're not moving that
So
man.
my question to you guys is this. If there's a GM putting that out there, it ain't saying nothing really negative about the player, right?
Okay, Schmidt.
It says more about the GM that thinks that's important. 1 inch and 3/8. A GM that says, I don't want him because his arms are a little bit short.
Now I got a question for you that's brought up from Jordo in our chat here. We talk about how this offensive lineman has a few inches off in his arm that may affect his game. How do we feel about Xavier Restrepo running a slower 40 than Teron Armstead?
It looked like it.
That's not good for a receiver to run a 40.
Listen.
Wait, what did he run in the 40?
He ran a 4.7. I think it was like a 4.75.
Restrepo ran a 4.7?
Yeah, it's pretty much
Now-
around 4.8.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude, let me get this straight. So at the combine, I was 225.
Yeah.
They asked me to put on 10 pounds. And I ran 4.4.
That's
Leroy,
impressive.
you were fast.
That's
Yeah.
impressive. I mean, look, that was Robert Smith. You would have scored. But you're fast, Leroy. You're still fast.
Hey, you know what the great thing?
I think the shoulder patch still was weighing Leroy down, bro.
Let me tell you the great thing. Let me tell you the great thing about
Picking up wind.
that is that you can be the fastest guy in the world. If you can't get to the open field, nobody will ever see it.
Yeah.
And if you break free, you don't need to run a 4.2 to take it to the house. Because if you run a 4.6 and the cornerback run a 4.3 and you got a 10-yard gap on him because you broke free and he coming from another area, it's still gonna take a while to catch him. It don't mean that you got possessed a whole bunch of speed. It just means you got open and they couldn't catch you in time. So we really need to stop with that, right? Like running back, the greatest part of a running back is in the first 10, 15 yards. It ain't the last 60.
Restrepo said on Tuesday that
His
on his
hammy?
Twitter, indeed, he said that his
I go.
hand,
Hey, when I run a slow time, I'm going with the hammy. Tight, man, tight.
He said his right hamstring tightened up during warm-ups before running the 40-yard dash, which prohibited him from opening up and running his fastest. He went on to say that he had been consistently running between a 4.53 and a 4.58 for 2 weeks before pro day and thought he could still pull it off. He said he did everything in his blood because it's just he did everything he could because it's in his blood to compete. With that being said, he is now focused on getting back to 100% healthy and getting ready to play football. My thing is, I don't care how slow he ran. You put him in a Patriots uniform, you're not sticking him. Guaranteed. Well, then again, it's not the same Patriots.
It's not the same Patriots.
From my PTSD, I know that maybe about 10 years ago, the Patriots are picking him up and he's a Super Bowl champion.
Want me to give you another one? You know who wasn't that fast?
Who?
Jerry Rice.
Oh, yeah. No. I do know that. But, I mean,
there's a lot of,
legend.
There's a lot of guys
stamina
that played their tails off in the NFL that didn't have the measurables that everybody is looking for, right?
Yeah.
Because I tell you, when I went to the combine, well, I had a pro day and I did kind of hammy up a little bit, so I didn't do much. I ran the 40. I ran like 4.5, 4.6, and I'm like, my hammy kind of tightened up on me because I was the only one at the pro day.
What?
So, yeah, it was just me. So I said, you know what? I ain't doing nothing else. So there was a lot of people that were upset that I didn't try. And I'm like, no, it's not that. I said, we got a combine in a couple of weeks. So,
yeah.
But if there's one thing that I would say to people is that all those measurables don't mean jack on the football field all the time. It may give you an idea of how a guy's going to perform in certain situations, but that game film is more of an indication of what he can do on the field. Like, it's always the quarterback that has a cannon but can't hit the broadside of a barn. What good is it?
Very true. We got that and much more on the Tobin and Leroy show. When we come back, we're going to try to tickle Leroy's fancy. to the Tobin and Leroy show, where we tickle Leroy's fancy even though he's not here.
Jeez.
So, with that being said, this is right up his alley.
This is right up to this week. Yeah. What
No,
do
this
you think? This is all Leroy. This is all Leroy.
Oh, this
What
is
do you
for
think he went to get a food? Oh, it's almost noon. I'm hungry.
Oh, and there goes is that go? He's chewing. I see. What is that? Is that a toaster strudel? What is in his hand there?
So
What-
we have a
what is
segment
it?
to do, Leroy.
This is your segment, Leroy. What
Oh, it's
what
almost noon. I'm hungry. You know that, guys.
what tickled your fancy in the kitchen, Leroy? I saw it. I saw something in your hand. It looked like a toaster strudel. Pop Tart. Aha. Is that left over from the Pop Tart bowl when the Hurricanes were?
No, it's banana bread Pop Tart.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad one.
Mhm.
Well, Leroy, we only have a few seconds for us to ask if this tickles your fancy or not. So I'm going to do rapid fire real quick. All right.
Okay.
We talked about it briefly, and I can't believe this is a real movie. I had to check this for sure. We got a Working Man starring starring Jason Statham, written by Sylvester Stallone. If you're wondering what this movie is about, it's literally the same movie he always makes.
Yeah.
It's literally
He's minding his own business.
Mind his own
Somebody
business.
get wrong. He
There you
feel
go.
it's important that he step up and make it right.
Hey, when a local girl vanishes, he's asked to return to the skills that made him a mythic figure in the shadowy world of counterterrorism. Leroy, are you interested in seeing yet another Jason Statham movie with the same plot?
No.
What? That doesn't tickle your
I'll see-
fancy?
You
dude?
know why?
Yeah,
Because I'll see it when it come on Netflix or Prime.
that's fair. That is fair. Which
Okay,
I'm
what's his
assuming
next
won't be.
movie?
Long.
And it'll say right underneath, more
Yeah.
movies like this.
What's his next movie going to be?
Working
Vlad?
Man. Huh?
What?
The
Vlad said-
janitorial.
I think, you know what movie was a bit of a reach?
What?
The Meg.
Oh, yeah, the one with the
Oh,
big
with
truck.
what was it? The
It was a
Shark-
huge
the
shark,
alien
right?
shark? Like
Yeah.
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 You know what's interesting? I saw that movie in IMAX and I was like, why did I spend money on this? This is absolutely outrageous. But all right, so fancy not tickle there. Let's go ahead and get into some college basketball. We have the first four of the Elite Eight are in. We have games to determine the rest of the participants. Leroy, let's just say all the March Madness games today. Do those tickle your fancy?
Yeah, you know my school's in it.
My
So of
fancy is
course.
tickled.
Michigan
Yep.
can't
They
steal
play tonight.
science.
Isn't it
Watch out.
crazy that it's all SEC and Big Ten schools mostly?
Well, it is crazy. I thought they were football, but apparently they're good at this old bat. I'm just waiting for the Gators to lose, and it is not looking like it's gonna
They're
happen.
not.
anytime soon.
I think they're probably going to make the final game.
They haven't even unleashed the giant yet. It's absolutely outrageous. But
Or that 7'6" kid.
7-9. It's crazy. Last one here, Leroy. Your Marlins, undefeated, are back in action today at 7:10 p.m. against those stupid Pirates. What do you
They-
think, Leroy?
Marlins will be on my periphery. I'll be watching March Madness,
Fancy
but
is
I'll
tickled.
definitely keep an eye out because now I'm interested. Now I'm
Yeah.
interested.
Is this
Okay.
a 3 TV night, Leroy?
I don't do
TV.
multiple TVs.
Yeah,
So you're not gonna watch the Marlins
I pick. Here's what I got.
hockey and
I got A,
and
I got
tournament?
A,
Mm.
B, and C. So A is going to be March Madness.
Okay.
B is
Panthers.
going to be Panthers, and then C, because only second game of the season, right? My peripherals will be on the Marlins, so I'll be able to follow everything. But I'm not just going. I can't have a TV. I like concentrating on one screen.
All right, that's fair. That was Tickle Leroy's Fancy. In the next hour, we got Doug Plagens who's going to join us. We got some headlines and much, much more on the Tobin and Leroy Show. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It is a Vice Shirt Friday, a Night Shirt Friday. The vibes are high in South Florida because the wins.
We winning, baby.
The wins are back. They are back indeed, and so are we. To the Tobin and Leroy show. Frog Week on the program. Tobin returns next week. I know a lot of you have missed him. A lot of people have already reached out to me and expressed their displeasure with my hosting capabilities. Into that,
I will say this: it's a lot better than yesterday.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it? Told you it was a one-off. You can't have a bad game around you guys.
Instead of being in,
but here, it's one thing to have a bad game.
You're in a.
It's another thing not to plan.
Yeah.
Or test all of your equipment to make sure that it works.
Yes, but I cannot control when Xfinity goes out of my area, nor can I control when my bedazzled mic wants to really just completely mess up when I needed it most. But now, what did I do, Leroy? What did I do?
You fixed it. The only time that ever happened to me was when I was getting my pavers done, and they kept cutting the internet line.
Woo, that was a rough couple months. I'm not gonna lie, because that happened like 3 times.
Yeah.
RVA Richie, I appreciate his words of encouragement. Love how he hit me with a break a leg before the show began, and then 15 minutes into the show says, "I didn't mean it seriously." And everyone else who is definitely, I just want you to know, you guys got that rundown early. Your boy was in this chat room early, and I'll tell you why.
I'm happy.
I was locked in.
Yeah, you were locked in a comic book store. That's why.
Yeah, I'm in my nephew's room. I'm in my nephew's room right now.
Yesterday, you were like,
wait. I know Marcos.
Yeah.
How much of the stuff have you played with?
Let's just say that.
How many times has Hulk and Iron Man fought?
They fight and then they kiss, and it's weird.
Wait,
and I'm like, I don't know. I just have
Hulk never really. Well, a couple of times when Hulk was.
Did you just flip us a JFig?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Flip us a JFig.
Whoa, baby! Whoa!
That's the blue stone, huh?
That's a blue stone. What's crazy about this room, and I grew up with this man's father. This is my nephew's room, and this is a brother. I have a lot of siblings, but this is the one that I grew up with. Leroy, he's convinced you still owe him 10 pairs of shoes. I'm almost positive. But nonetheless, to see the things, just this guy's got like literally, I don't even have to move, and I just pulled up the coolest like Thor hands or not Thor hands, you know. You got what's this guy's name? The one Thanos. There you go. You got this VR headset right here, a PlayStation 5 right here, a basketball hoop on the back of the door that I can literally hang off of right now. I'm like, who is this guy?
Don't break the door.
I won't.
You're gonna be the same way with Tadpole. Now, I will say this.
Yeah.
In all my years of living, there's been more adults break my toys than kids. Right. But
you know why?
You know how many uncles that come over your house and say, "Boy, you don't know how to do. You don't know nothing about this," and then go and break your basketball rim.
Yeah,
bunch of football, right? Yeah.
You know what? The problem is, life reminds you very fast that you grow up quickly, and before you know it, you got broken bones in both your feet.
Hey, I don't know why. Listen, there's one thing I knew when I got done with football.
Yeah,
that I couldn't do those things anymore. Otherwise, I would have kept doing them and kept getting paid for it. So, I'm talking about running, jumping.
Oh,
you know, all athletic stuff. I knew when I got done with football, I couldn't do that no more. Right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, Crowder, who was hurt during his career to some extent, still think that he got it. No, dude, if you had it, you'd be getting paid.
It was a lapse of judgment for a moment.
Twice? Remember you tried to jump over the creek?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, these are the moments in which you realize. It was a joke. It was a joke by, man, I can't remember exactly which comedian, but he stood on the chair, not a stool, just a normal chair. He stood on the chair, and he said, if I was 20-something years old, I can hop down from this no problem. I am 45 years old, and when I stood on this chair, the entire room gasped. Like, be careful, be careful, be careful.
Yeah.
You can't even jump off of a chair without feeling like I made this ankle.
Hey, I
You
know
got
the
hurt in the
feeling.
balloon toss?
Yeah.
What?
You got hurt on a balloon toss?
I pulled my hand.
Wait. No. You see, this is what I like. You were cracking jokes, and then all of a sudden your card gets pulled out, and then it's like, I was when they start laughing and smiling before you get to the story, that means something embarrassing happened.
No.
Proceed.
Hey, I went to throw the thing and felt
But
my
how do you
hammy.
throw a water balloon and pull your hamstring?
How you pull a hammy throwing a water balloon?
Because you was
How do you
throwing
do
it,
that?
you know, I was trying to be all soft toss and whatever. I don't know. I listen, I don't know.
No,
I'm
Leroy,
just saying.
Didn't you break your leg
Oh.
somehow? Just like it just broke. Like you found out after a week. They're like, by the way,
Yeah,
your
my
leg's broken.
no.
Wait,
That's-
off
it's-
a water balloon toss?
No,
No, off of gravity. Gravity.
No, this is something else. I was, going to the gym or whatever, golfing, doing what I do. And one Sunday I got home and my leg had been bothering me for a couple of days. I don't know whether I did something at the gym or whatever. I don't do crazy stuff at the gym. So, and I do a lot of stuff in the pool. So I'm like, I told Mel, I think something wrong with my knee. Now I just take it easy for a couple of days. So a couple of days go by and I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to the hospital. I'm hurting pretty good. Like I know me, right? She's like, just take some time off. I'm like, so you saying I shouldn't go get it checked? Like, no. She said, just relax. So I set my alarm one morning for 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to sneak out of the house for medical attention.
All right.
I'm
Right?
sorry.
Well,
You're
no.
sneaking out
Yeah.
of your house.
Yeah. So I went to the emergency room at 4 o'clock in the morning. Time I got seen or whatever, they x-rayed it, did whatever they needed to do. And the guy comes in and say, you been walking around? I'm like, yeah, it's a little tight or whatever. He said, your femur's cracked.
Oh.
Right. And I said, can I borrow your phone? Because I can't.
Hold on.
It didn't hurt.
I'm sorry. I
It
am
didn't-
not giving Spoon any flack on this. This is on you.
Why?
Leroy Horde.
She told me not to go get it checked.
Come on, Leroy Horde. Leroy Horde. What was your occupation prior to this?
Football.
Don't you think, as a former football player, if you have an ache that it's
I knew something was wrong.
so you go, you ain't asking the wife to go, like the wife, man, get out of here. The wife,
You gotta ask her.
Hey.
You gotta ask her. You gotta
Hey.
ask
no,
her.
you
Hey.
don't.
Hey, see, when you get old and you've been married for a while, your significant other
She's
is
not the team
confirmation.
doctor.
No,
She's
your
not the team
significant
doctor.
other is confirmation, right? But I knew
not-
something was wrong.
Leroy, you've been hit by men
Yeah,
that weigh 300 pounds. You've been tackled.
Full
trampled.
speed.
Yes, you know, something doesn't feel right. You go to the trainer, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't care, even as a husband, something doesn't feel right. Yeah, you go to her. She's going to tell you, it's nothing. When she tells you that, you run straight to the hospital. Remember, this is the first thing about adults.
Marcos,
Adults are the first people to
ain't
always
there.
want to bring their kids to the hospital.
You
to
know,
the
You
doctor.
gotta ask it. Because
But when they do it, when they hurt,
Yeah.
nobody wants to go. They don't want to go to the doctor. Why is that? Why, when we get old, we never want to go to the doctor? But
Because we're
God forbid
scared.
no, I've been around. I've had enough injuries with this body that I knew something wasn't right. Right,
And you gotta- yeah.
But at the same time, I asked her because I don't want to be that person that is exaggerating things, right? And I was walking around and I was still going to the gym. So it wasn't like I couldn't do nothing. And most people assume broken bones with the inability to move. So that's kind of how we got there. But as it started getting worse and worse, I'm like, look here. I know something's up, right? I'm telling you.
And then you called the wife, right? And then what did she say?
No,
you should have went to the doctor early.
No.
Why did you listen to me? You should have went to the doctor.
She goes, I was wondering where you went. I say, well,
that's really what it is.
I say, I'm glad you asked. I'm at the hospital.
I'm glad.
Right? I'm at the hospital.
What did she say?
And Fonz got to come get me. She go, wow, what's going on? My leg is broken. She said, wait, guess what she said?
Yeah.
That's all.
Exactly. This is the point.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's all you got?
You know why? You know what?
If I would have listened to you, I would have had to get my leg cut off in a month.
You're wrong. You didn't realize.
She said,
she
didn't even say.
You know what it is? No. What time was this in the morning? What, 6:30 maybe? 7?
That I called her?
Yeah.
No, she was at work. It was like 9 o'clock. I was there for a minute.
Now she's figuring, all right, now he has a broken leg. Now I got to do everything. All right. That's a mindset. Yes. You got a broken leg. What are you going to be doing? You're going to be sitting on the couch.
Let me tell you something. I had that leg brace and I was doing what I got to do. I still do my same stuff.
I would have melted.
No, you ain't, dude. Hey, dude, Marcos is laughing because he married. And no.
Honestly, I'm just surprised he did it somehow. I break my leg and I go to the hospital without her, and then I call her and say, hey, by the way, my leg is broken. She's like, you just gonna go to the hospital alone and make me look like a bad wife? That's what you're gonna do? And I'm like, my leg is broken. And she's like, you.
But here's the kicker. I've been with my wife for 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
You just getting there. So the conversations are different. So all I get is a
Oh yeah, it's much shorter.
I'm like, huh? I'm like, so yeah.
At least he's not creepy. I mean, it's better things.
But now I got a three-legged dog because something wrong with one of his hoofs. So he walk around like this. She say, oh, that's because he running out on the pavement and it gets sore. He needs to go. I'm like, he's using 3 legs.
Don't trust her no more. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's not
you guys.
Don't trust her no more.
Dude, I love Spoon, but she is not Dr. Quinn medicine woman.
Hey,
she's too tough. That's what it is.
It's not Dr. Spoon medicine woman.
Everybody have that person in their family that when somebody gets sick, all you need to do, look.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I hate the.
That's my wife. My wife be breaking it down. She'll look and she'll give you terms, medical terms that you have no idea.
She watched Dr. Quinn. She watched Jane Seymour play Dr. Quinn. Exactly. That's the only way.
Hey,
that's the only way. When they watch those shows, they watch Grey's Anatomy, they watch ER, they start thinking they're the doctors.
Let's not forget. I was also, so you have to understand my level of, toughness. I was also the same guy that wanted to have both thumbs done at the same time.
That was a bad move.
Hey.
That would have been a bad move for sure.
Dude. Hey, because I know when I got the first one and I was showing everybody the rod through my thumb, they go, and you wanted to do both of them? Dude, I didn't even have the other one done. That's how much pain that thing hurt. But I will say this. Who's the person that had surgery on Tuesday and went to work on Tuesday and came back on Wednesday?
None other than Leroy Horde, baby. None other than Leroy Horde.
When I tell people, when I say I'm hurting, you have to understand where is this coming from. This is coming from a person who doesn't normally comment on pain.
Yeah. I don't understand how Leroy, who comes on here and rips Tobin for not understanding how sports is, what goes in the locker room, the playing with injury, is gonna. And I understand that is his partner for life.
Yeah.
But she's not a doctor. If I say I'm in pain and she say, "Hey, why don't you take a couple of days off?" That's not what I'm gonna do.
Let me break it down for you, Marcos.
I know
Yeah.
she's. I know.
How many times has your wife sent you out there on them streets with an outfit she thought was gonna be cute, only for you to get ridiculed by all your friends and family?
It happens every time I go to the show and you tell me that my shirts are stupid.
Hey,
I
dude,
care about
like,
fit.
hey, no,
my
I'm
health?
just telling. But this, I just picked one little situation. Okay, there's a whole bunch of situations
Leroy.
going on here.
Leroy, you out of everybody
I know,
in your household, if you say you're in pain, I think everybody will understand. You play. Your occupation was to be in pain. You played the most dangerous position.
One
You're
would
getting
think,
hit 25, 30 times.
one would think that my wife would know that.
Well, one
She
would
said-
think.
I would think along the
I would
lines
think
of,
you would know
this is what I'm thinking. Oh, if my baby say he hurt, it must be something serious because you know.
Nah,
Nope.
they're not
She's
gonna
like,
think that.
look
They're
it up,
gonna think about,
Buttercup.
Okay.
I know you're trying to get out
Oh.
of. I know you're trying to get out of what we got to do on Saturday.
That's what they're
Uh-huh.
thinking. But Leroy,
Uh-huh.
no, you're not gonna do that. Because here's the one thing I know: athletes are not gonna complain about pain. Because even they're in pain, they're still gonna do what they need to do. Like they're still gonna be athletes. So you're still a man. You're still gonna do your manly thing. So you're gonna just do what you need to do as the day goes by. But if you start saying I'm in pain, especially if you go tell your girl that, anytime you tell your significant other you're in
Yeah.
pain, you're literally in pain. Like
Can I just say this? I don't know what earth you live on, but in the real world, women do not operate like that. Like you thinking you understanding and appreciative and understanding the circumstances.
That's the problem. You're speaking in logic, Vlad, and that's the problem. What you're saying makes sense, Vlad, and that's the problem. With that being said, women are great. We love women.
Oh no, I'm not.
International Women's Month.
Hey, I would wait. Hey, listen. While I'm sitting here doing all of this, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have it any other way.
Correct.
Right? But
Of course.
there are moments in time where, you know, I have come into the house and my hand is black or blue, or I got a swollen elbow, and I'm like, damn, I bumped my elbow on it, put some ice on it.
Walk it off, champ.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah. Or, you know, a woman that's thrown, and I have babies. Get over it.
Yeah. What am I supposed to say to that? That's the
Time
ultimate.
out, time out. We gotta have a discussion about that. Because
Okay, but let's take a break.
yeah, let's take a break because my man got hurt. He's got some pain worse than having
Oh no. I don't know about that.
When we come back, Doug Plagens will hopefully be joining us to talk Florida Panthers as they return to the ice today. Stick around. We got more on the Tobin and Leroy show. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. Welcome back.
Oh, glad you
ladies.
could join us, Jennifer, because you've been doing a whole lot of chit-chatting in the chat.
You see how engaged I am?
Wow. Okay. Look, guys, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me in front of our esteemed guests that we have here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk Panthers hockey with the man himself, the voice of your Florida Panthers. Let's go ahead and go out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Mr. Doug Plagens. Doug, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing great. What's going on? Thanks for having me.
We got to say hi to the most swole play-by-play guy in sports.
Doug, this show has fancied you not only as a amazing play-by-play, but the way that you announce fights really has become a sticking point on this show of how talented and versatile you are on the mic. So I appreciate you joining us today, Doug.
Well, those are very kind words. I appreciate it. I do love calling a good scrap. I would list Jim Ross among my greatest inspirations, and again, it's something I really enjoy, and I think it's something that's always going to have a place in the game of hockey, and I think it's in a perfect spot where it is right now.
Doug, is what the Panthers going through, that seems like pretty normal for them, where they might have a week or two where it's not perfect hockey. They may be winning, they may be losing, but it just looks a little clunky. These last couple of weeks, they've given up, a lot more goals than we're used to seeing. Is that because, guys are trying to catch up to the system, or guys are just out that would play a large role in defending that?
I think overall they're happy with how their game looks, where their game is heading into a critical part of the year. And you look at it overall, yeah, they're missing some key players right now. That's obviously going to affect the way things might look night to night, but they're also a really deep team, and that's why they're able to keep things going and get a win like they did on Sunday, that shootout win outlasting the Pittsburgh Penguins, which came at a big time. Good bounce back game there. But obviously with Brad Marchand getting in there tonight, we expect him to play. So excited to see how he's going to fit in there. Overall, I think there are just a lot of different factors at play this time of the year. Everybody's played a ton of hockey. Everybody's had a wacky schedule because that's just been kind of the way things have gone this season, with the Four Nations break being a part of it and everything like that. And like I said, the Panthers working through having some key players out. The other thing that comes into play, and it's going to be something that's going to be worth watching, over the course of the rest of the regular season, and something the Panthers have seen lately, and it's something that you can't always quantify, but the Panthers have played some teams that are urgent and fighting for their playoff lives. No other way to put it. They're playing another one of those tonight in the Utah Hockey Club. And sometimes when you play a desperate team, the games can feel a bit different this time of the year. But overall, the Panthers are really happy with how things look, where things are headed and trending. That's what it's all been about. It's building and trending and making sure the game is where they want it to be and it looks the way they want it to look heading into an important part of the year.
Doug, do you expect to see some sort of adjustment period to Marchand? Do you think that's going to be of significant time, or do you think this is going to be like a plug and play? As soon as he's in there, he's going to mesh well?
I think no matter what, there's always some form of an adjustment period. That being said, just in going back to a conversation I had with Paul Maurice the day after he was acquired, he said that Brad Marchand's game already has a little bit of Florida Panther in it. And the way he plays, the things he does well, and his overall versatility, he plays both wings, he plays the penalty kill, he does a lot of things that are already right in the wheelhouse of this Panthers team. I think that added to his hockey IQ. He's a smart player. He's a player that has, he's good at playing on the edge. He's good at playing around the net. He gets under the skin of the opposition, all those things. But he's a really smart player with a really high hockey IQ. When you have a player like that, it's a real luxury, and it makes those transitions, I feel like, much easier and more seamless. He's been really looking forward to getting out there with his new teammates. He's been involved in practices. He's been on the ice for a couple of weeks with the Panthers, things like that. But I know that everybody's excited to see him play tonight. So excited for that. I think there's always a learning curve. There's always a transition. He's played with one organization his entire career prior to coming to the Panthers, but I think because of his smarts, I think and it's just raw ability, I think it's going to be as seamless a transition as you can have.
Doug, are there any updates on Matthew Tkachuk? Because, I mean, when he gets back and you're looking at him and Marchand on the same team, I mean, it looks like the defense is going to get to where it needs to be for the playoffs. But do you have any idea when he's coming back?
Well, it's nothing more than what's already been out there and what Bill Zito has said, and they're hoping he can be ready for the playoffs. So I really don't have any other update than what's already been out there. But the thing that, as you said there, the idea of being able to have him and Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand in the lineup, and all the other, there's a lot of sandpaper in this Panthers team, and it's a really versatile team, and it's a team that's full of guys that not only from last year's group, but guys who've been parts of winning teams elsewhere. You look at Brad Marchand coming in; he's got a ring. He's got a lot of playoff experience. Nico Sturm came in at the deadline. He's got a ring with Colorado a couple of years ago. So this is as battle tested a team as you're going to find anywhere, as deep a team as you're going to find anywhere. They're showing the depth here as it's been tested a little bit lately with not only Matthew Tkachuk being out, but Kulikov being out, and obviously no Aaron Ekblad right now. And, you've had Brad Marchand out of the lineup up until tonight. So it's as deep a team, as battle-tested a team as you're going to find anywhere. And as we know, when you get into the playoffs, not only to go through an 82-game grind, but to go through what the Panthers hope is going to be another long run, you need to be able to have that depth and those guys you can call on to fill spots as needed. And this team has had that and shown that. So I guess, like I said, roundabout answer. I don't have any further update on Matthew Tkachuk than what's already out there.
Now, I don't want to jump ahead of it, as I saw a few articles that were doing the same. He hasn't even had a second on the ice yet as a Panther. I want to be able to fully enjoy this, but I'm already seeing reports and rumors of where Marchand's next landing spot will be, including a possible return to Boston. Is this strictly a playoff rental for the Panthers, or do you see a future in which Marchand could potentially spend more than 1 year as a Panther?
I personally am privy to nothing in terms of those conversations. That goes far beyond the broadcast booth, so I don't really have anything to offer you there. But, Paul Maurice has said that, if things obviously, he was asked it during the media availability in Boston, that first day that Brad Marchand skated with the Panthers. And he said, obviously, there are all kinds of different factors at play, and I'm paraphrasing, but, if things work for everybody, they're obviously, and it works for the team and it works for they're obviously interested in, potentially anybody being a part of their program down the road. But, as far as next season, I don't think anybody is, maybe in places, like I said, that I am not privy to, maybe those chats have happened. I don't know. But that's nothing. I don't think that's anything anybody's really discussing right now. The first order of business is to go out and have the best finish to the season they can have, get everybody acclimated to being a Florida Panther, get Brad Marchand on the same page, which, like I said, I don't think is going to be a difficult transition at all, and have the best playoff run possible. And I know that his objective is to come in and be a part of this team that has a chance to do it again. And he wants to be involved in a team that has a chance to win. So the first objective is to come out, finish the season strong, and have the best playoff run they can have. And, beyond that, I'm, not trying to dance around your question, but I really don't have any insight as far as that goes. I'm sure those conversations and everything will happen when they need to happen.
Doug, how awesome is it to be able to do the play-by-play for a team that's competing for championships like this team has over the last few years? It has to be a blast, right?
It absolutely is. This team is, And I'm not saying it just because I'm biased and I'm the voice of the Florida Panthers, but it's a team that I think everybody across the hockey world and even casual sports fans who may not keep a super watchful eye on hockey, this Panthers team these last couple of years under Paul Maurice, they've played a style of hockey that people want to watch, that people find entertaining. If their team isn't in it, they are wanting to watch the Panthers. And we feel the same way every single night. To be able to go and watch this team play, it's an absolute privilege to be able to be there for every step of the action and see the passion and to see the growth in the team and everything they've gone through and everything they went through en route to winning it last year, and knowing that this team is very much right in its competitive window, not only good last year and this year, but will be good for a number of years to come. It's a special thing and something that I know I don't take for granted, and I hope that none of the Panthers fans out there take it for granted either. I can tell they don't. The buzz in the arena, we feel it every single night. You don't get teams that are able to have sustained runs of success like this. It doesn't happen every single day. So I hope everybody's enjoying it. And not only is it a talented group of players, but just a group of guys that genuinely enjoys being around each other, and a locker room that's full of great personalities, really engaging personalities. Anybody out there who's had a chance to, bump into any guys from this Panthers team over the last couple of years, I'm sure they were just blown away with how personable and approachable these guys are. It's a special group of players on and off the ice. And like I said, we're excited to be a part of it in a small way every single day.
Now, tonight we face off against the Utah Hockey Club. As you know,
do you want to sell him on your name?
Yeah, actually, I would love to know his opinion on what you think.
I'm going to let him look.
Doug, be honest, Doug. Be honest.
Let the man decide. All right. It is the Utah Hockey Club. Did they finally settle on the Mammoth, or is that in the final three? Do you know?
I'm not sure if that's been finalized. I've seen the same reports that you have. I know that's been out there. And I know they had a lot of other different things kicked around, a lot of other different rumors kicked around. But I think, honestly, Hockey Club has been a good, easy for me, and it's rolled off the tongue nicely. But I know it's the finalist is I believe the finalist is Mammoth. I'm not sure it's been officially. I don't think it's been officially determined to be the name, but I like it. I don't have an issue with it.
Mammoth is good. I know for a while they were mulling over Yeti. I know the Utah Yeti. I thought that was a cool one. But hear me out, Doug. Picture this, right? No more are we throwing squids on the field or I'm sorry, on the ice and catfish. That's disgusting. All right. We're at a new level of professional fandom. I'm thinking everyone loves alliterations. The Utah ukuleles. We give everyone in the crowd ukuleles. Someone scores a goal. Whole arena just starts going crazy with ukuleles. Tell me that's not better than the Hockey Club, Doug.
Well, you're trusting that like 19,000 people in an arena every night are going to know how to play that thing.
Oh yeah.
Also, by the way, that is the sound that a ukulele makes, apparently.
And Doug, you've been in enough arenas to know this. If you give somebody a weapon and alcohol, somebody's gonna get swatted with a ukulele.
100%.
You guys have to be.
You're going to be sure. You're going to be finding them under seats. You'll be finding them in the parking lot. They're going to be there. There'll just be ukuleles all over. I think I prefer Mammoth to Yeti. My opinion doesn't matter on the subject. I prefer Mammoth to Yeti. I would probably prefer both over ukuleles.
That's fair. That's fair. Not a problem.
Thank you. He's been pushing this for a while, Doug. We needed somebody that wasn't us to tell him how ridiculous that sounds. Thank you. We're done with it.
Just to bring him back down.
I appreciate the effort, though. The UU. The only other UU in sports that I can recall is Uget Urbina.
Look at that! Come on.
I'm pretty sure the show cannot pronounce that.
Uget Urbina. I'm doing my best. Doug, before we get you out of here, I know you're an avid card collector, if I'm not mistaken. I want to know, do you have a Leroy horde in your collection? We need to get you one if you don't.
I actually stumbled across one. I do, and I'm gonna have to get him to autograph it the next time I see him.
We had this conversation, and I said absolutely no problem.
Yes.
The next time we are near the arena, I will bring you a couple of cards.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, I stumbled across one. I was a big 90s football card collector, and so I definitely have some Leroy horde at home.
Well, Doug, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to entertain this group of rascals here. I appreciate it, Doug. And man, go Cats, baby.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to jump on anytime, and look forward to talking to you guys down the road. Thanks so much.
All right, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Have a good one.
Doug Plagens, voice of the Florida Panthers.
See, Doug is new to the show. He's only been on a couple of times. And let me tell you a couple of things.
Yes.
He was way too nice for this show.
Way too nice.
Right?
Way too nice for
you see how you tried,
and you're ridiculous.
You tried to break. Here, he treated Marcos like the girl you wanted to break up with, but you didn't want it to be on bad terms. And sometimes you got to let people know right away so they don't think that there's still a chance, right? He should have just came up, jumped off the top rope on you.
Nah.
He should have let you know right away that's garbage.
He let me go very kindly, and I appreciate that, definitely. With that being said, shut up, Vlad. Don't rush me. With that being said, we're gonna go to break. Don't telling me to wrap it up like this is the damn Grammys. Now go to break. Tobin and Leroy when we come back. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It is a Vice Shirt Friday on the program. As we were interviewing our boy Doug Plagens, which special thanks to him for joining us, we got some breaking news out of the NBA. It seems the Grizzlies have parted ways with their head coach. This comes as they are currently slated as the 5th seed and were as high as a 2nd seed at a certain point. All
Weird,
signs,
right?
all
Weird
signs
firing the
point
coach
to it has to be some sort of player. Well, it has to be Ja Morant. Long story short, that is a whale sound there. That is, of course, going to become synonymous with this show as there continues to be some sort of kerfuffle or.
But don't you already have a Ja Morant?
What? No.
Well, I mean, well, Leroy.
No, I don't mean here. You misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yes.
That if you brought in a Ja Morant, you would get rid of Tyler.
Yes.
Because they do the same things.
Correct. But one of them is, I think, a little bit better. I think Ja Morant is better.
Dude, he's more athletic. I don't know if he's better.
He's better.
I mean, let's see. Let's go to the numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. We know, scoring obviously is something that I think they both can do at like a pretty decent level.
I think Ja's a better playmaker than Tyler.
That's, I think, where things are separated.
Yeah. It's not only he's a better athletically, but he's also he can get others their own shot. You know what I mean?
I also think he's a better defender as well.
Ja's a better defender?
Yeah. I've seen him sky to block some shots that are crazy.
But that has more to do
Leroy's
with
just in love with Hero because he's seen Hero for the last 6 years, and
I love Hero too. I do
love
Hero,
the progression and everything like that.
Well,
and
I'm just
shot, but no, Ja Morant's a better player than
okay, but you do understand that it would have to be one or the other.
Not necessarily.
Yes, I don't see
Ja and Tyler do the same things.
So what? So does Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Like you can have two players that have the ball. Luke and LeBron, they have the ball. Just gotta make sure.
Yeah, but that's
right. What
I just think the Luka and LeBron thing is a little bit different in that their size and how they,
I get it, but I mean, look at Derek White and Drew Holiday are literally the same player.
Oh, Drew Holiday is better.
But they're literally the same player.
Derek White will have a game on you.
And Derek White comes off the bench.
No, he doesn't. They both start.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to have that pondering look.
So it goes Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown,
Jason Tatum,
and Horford, or Porzingis.
Horford comes off the bench.
That's crazy. Jason Tatum at the 4.
Well, that's what he is.
6'10", 6'11", yeah.
Right. Like we lose track of how tall some of these guys are playing these positions.
Nah, but it's just not the same. I'm
gonna tell you why you lose track. It's because you see what's his name always playing these guys. Bam has to guard 1-5.
Right.
Yeah. Power forwards back in my day, different, dude. Zach Randolph.
Well, first of all, when you think about power forwards, you didn't think of them as, you thought of small forward. You didn't think of scoring. Now every wing scores.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously we were leading towards this.
I think when was Rodman wasn't a center. Was he a center? I don't think he was a center. I think him and Bill Cartwright would I know how they did it. Rodman was in the paint, but he didn't necessarily play center.
Yeah. Probably a power forward. What's the guy? 50.
Rodman was a 6'7" power forward, but he guarded
he
one.
Played in the paint.
Same thing with Draymond. Draymond's like what 6'7". He guards 1-5.
Yeah. It's interesting to see now, just to monitor what's going to happen with the team. Are things going to blow up in Memphis? Will they be able to overcome this? Keep an eye on it. I'm sure.
I can't imagine firing a coach this quick. in the position
You're
they're in.
not.
It's strange.
It's
It's strange.
interim until the end of the season, and then the end of the season they got to decide: are they going to keep Ja? Can they trade Ja? What are they going to do with Jaren Jackson? Are they going to break up this nucleus? This is right now is having Tobin right now going crazy. 3-game winning streak. There's a lot of dissension. Kevin Durant could be available. Giannis could be available. Now Ja Morant could be available. This is Tobin may need a cigarette right now. I'm just saying that.
These are the highs of the highs
Good thing he's
after a
on vacation.
10-game losing streak and the lows of the lows. He was a broken man last week, and now we're back, baby. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back on the Tobin and Leroy Show. Final hour coming up next. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. The final hour of Frog Week, everyone. That's right. 20 long hours of Frog Week. You guys have sat through it. We finally did it, baby. We finally did it.
23 hours.
Why is that?
The incident.
Okay. Well, let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16. All right,
No,
so
20,
we'll say,
I'm sorry. 19 hours.
There you go.
19 and a half.
The streak continues, baby. Look at us. Started strong with the final hour of Frog Week, which means it's time now to give you some headlines. These headlines are courtesy of our friends over at Doral Volkswagen. You can choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Plenty of material.
Why Jennifer send pictures we can't open?
Oh no, I was able to open them.
What do you mean? I mean, you weren't supposed to actually see a video or anything. It was just a picture.
I can't see the picture because it's little.
Oh, well, it's not my fault.
This is the picture right here.
That
Totally
boy's fault right
appropriately
there.
sized.
Who is
Totally
it,
appropriately
who is
sized.
that?
That is none
Tyreek
other than
Hill.
Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, getting a beach workout in on probably Hollover Beach because he's horny. But he is
May or may not be models around. I don't know.
may or may not be models around on this beach workout, and it is quoted as favorite time of the year, which would be very strange if you ask me, because I feel like the favorite time of the year would be playoff time. Cheetah, huh?
Well, he's
How
not
about-
the one that wrote it. If you
He
were to
doesn't know
look
what
at
that
the
is.
picture.
Well, I mean, he was in Kansas City. Okay, who was the one who wrote it? K Fitz wrote it. Okay, well, I apologize, JFig. I mean, I'm not in the best friends on IG with K Fitz. All right, so
I
I'm not
didn't
in
know
the
I was either.
I'm not in the cool club clan. But I want to talk real quick about our boy Cooper Flagg, who had an amazing performance yesterday. Did you guys have a chance to catch any of what the man did?
I did.
It was
He
a
was
back and forth.
amazing.
It was a back and forth for sure. I didn't even know this other guy though from Arizona State, Caleb Love. You guys knew him beforehand?
Yes, he's been in the league. I mean, he's been on the league. He's been in college basketball for like 5 years now. I think he played at North Carolina.
5 years.
Yeah, it wasn't like the first time he took on Duke.
Ah, wow. It was a back and forth for sure. The final numbers for Cooper Flagg, which, you know, I'm happy that the Heat are winning now, but every time I see this guy play, I'm like, come on, what are we doing? 30 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 block shots. The man does it all. I don't know if I've seen a more complete basketball player in college basketball in quite some time. If you guys could remind me of one, maybe, but the last time I've looked at someone who checked all the boxes, both physically and like, you know, skill wise, I can't remember the last time we saw a prospect like this. Even Zion Williamson.
Somebody suggested that he is the current day Christian Laettner.
He's Terry Conklin.
Who?
He's more athletic though.
The movie, Great White Hype. He's Terry Conklin.
Oh, okay. See, Christian Laettner, I don't like that comparison because, yeah, I get it.
Why? Because he's from Duke.
That's what I'm saying. They're both white guys from Duke. But the athleticism that Cooper Flagg has and skill that he has, Laettner, I mean, obviously the skill wasn't enough to translate to the NBA, but in general,
had swag. It was just he had boy prep swag. It wasn't. Yeah. Nobody wanted to see a kid, you know, with J. Crew on his. That looked like he came out of the J. Crew catalog. Nobody wants to see that. Not at that time.
Cooper Flagg has a different vibe, though. I think you'll agree.
Cooper Flagg got he's got 2000 intangible swag right now. 25 intangible swag.
Yeah.
You know, he's been around some barbecues, some cookouts.
Correct. He has an invite.
Yeah, he knows what grape flavored Kool-Aid is. He knows that.
And he doesn't put raisins in anything. And
No,
none. Never
especially
gonna get
on his
caught up with
potato
it.
salad.
No, but we have some more March Madness games that are going to continue on today, and they're at weird times. Are you guys seeing the times? Like,
What is it?
Yeah.
It's like 9:29, 7:09.
Yeah, that's because the game starts at
7:30.
7. So if it ends in 2 hours, it gives you 20 minutes between the last game and the next game.
And keep in mind they're playing in the same place, right? So
Yeah,
they got to give Like
you gotta get
the
one.
game. The game starts. I want to say 45 minutes.
No, after the first game, they
Yeah,
start like 20 minutes after the first
20
game.
minutes.
20
Okay.
minutes in.
Yeah.
But you got to
So
get
if you notice, by the time the other game ends, the other team's already in the tunnel.
not only that, but their fan base is already in. Remember, it's 4 different universities in one
Yeah,
arena.
you got to get out.
You got to get one
That's right,
fan base out and the other fan base in, unless you buy. That's why they try to get you and make you buy the whole weekend.
Right.
They make you buy, even if your team's eliminated, they still want you to.
They used to not let you
Expensive.
resell them.
Nope, they
But
did it.
now what they do is they make both teams buy them and then they return the money of the other team.
Well, today the action begins at 7:09 p.m. That is Ole Miss versus Michigan State. Don't worry about anything other than straight up. Who's winning this game? Vlad, I'll start with you. Michigan State or Ole Miss?
I got Michigan State winning it all. So
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
go with
So
those
there you go.
Spartans.
For
Sorry.
sure.
Sorry, Leroy.
And no, I got Michigan State. I got Michigan State winning this.
I think
But I don't have them winning it all.
You got
Okay.
Michigan beating them in the Elite Eight, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, you got Michigan State beating Michigan?
I didn't have
Michigan going to the
I'll
Elite
tell
Eight.
you right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm still in first place, but my teams are waning. So it becomes a little difficult to win if somebody has a team that goes much farther than the teams you have. Let me see my bracket.
Figgy, Ole Miss or Michigan
Oh, don't
State?
forget about this. Wait, aren't we supposed to finish the?
I got Auburn.
The snack it bracket?
Yeah.
Snack it bracket. We never finished.
I got Auburn. I got Michigan State.
Okay.
I got Florida.
Okay.
I had St. John's, so I'm off
so did
there.
I.
I had
Boo.
Duke. I had Wisconsin beating Alabama, so I'm dead there.
Big Ten bias.
I have Houston. I have Tennessee.
So you'll have 6 of the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Maybe, if the guys went to.
Yeah, which means that it's gonna be hard to lose.
Followed by that, we have Kentucky and Tennessee.
Oh, SEC battle.
That one's pretty good. 3-2. Figgy, who you got for that one?
Say that one more time.
Nope. Moving on.
Okay.
9:39 p.m.
Sorry, I'm clipping.
Michigan versus Auburn. Leroy, I'm not even gonna ask you.
I picked Auburn.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
he went with the number 1 team. He wanted to bet big on Auburn.
Leroy. Ye of little faith. I'm going Michigan on this.
It's not ye of little faith.
Ye of little
It's that
faith. dog.
I've been watching them all year and not be able to score.
Yeah.
And I just figured it's gonna be tough when you have these teams that run. I don't know how much they're gonna be able to slow them down, especially when the tournament is usually about point guards and scoring.
Nah, I just kind of feel like they'll steal some signs and they'll be fine in the end.
You can steal all the signs you want. Like, who's gonna stop that guy from making threes?
And then finally at 10:09 p.m., Purdue versus Houston. Houston, we have a problem. Who do you think's gonna win that one, Figgy? All right, dude.
Why are you getting on the screen if you're not gonna talk?
Okay, you know what, Vlad? You're lashing out on me. I'm a video producer, so I'm here producing on the side. Okay,
no, it's fine. No,
let's
it's
not
fine.
lash out on me.
Not a problem. Leroy, who you got in that final matchup?
I got Houston.
You got Houston, number 1 seed. Not a shocker there. Vlad, I'm assuming same thing.
I got HM.
So relax.
I got HM in the Final Four.
Okay. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, come back with 15 minutes of heat where we'll be giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to the disgruntled Grizzlies.
Oh my
Look at
God,
this.
that's right.
Look at this, dude. In what? I don't know how many days are in March because I can't count my knuckles because that's the trick that I use. Next week, we are
Next Friday, a
days
week from
away.
tonight.
A week from tonight. Look at that. Who else looks out for you guys other than Tobin and Leroy? Giving you free tickets and opportunity to win next 15 minutes of heat. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. 15 minutes of heat for ya. This is fresh off a victory for your Miami Heat over the Atlanta Hawks. Stellar performance from the team, specifically Tyler Hero coming through with 36 points. But it really was a true team effort. You saw 12 rebounds from Kel'el Ware. You saw Davion Mitchell put up about 16 points. Overall, like Leroy says, as long as your big three can provide you at least 60 points, that usually indicates you're on your way to a victory. That was the case yesterday. And we look forward to much more of that as I want ping pong balls, but you get it. We're probably going to see much more of that as the Miami Heat have finally convinced themselves that they are clicking on all cylinders. Leroy, after the game, our boy Davion Mitchell had an interesting quote. He, again, much like we heard with Bam earlier and Erik Spoelstra earlier, echoed the sentiment that they are playing their best basketball at the moment. And really that they've been playing well this entire time. It's just now things are clicking and now they are connected. This is the Heat point guard, Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, I think nothing. I don't know if anything's changed. I think that we've been playing really well, even though the losses. We just had to figure out how to win games at the end. I feel like, defensively, honestly, we're better. We're being more disruptive. We're helping each other more. I think we're just kind of more connected. We got like more of a chemistry now. We've been through the fire, and now it's shown that we can in games.
I think personally, ever since this man has been traded to the team, has been really, not to give you a pun in this situation, but really a slam dunk of a pickup.
He's done his thing.
He was Heat culture from day one. He's pesky on the defensive side of the ball. He can get you some points. Way better than that Drew Smith guy, am I right?
They don't call him off night for nothing.
He has lived up to the reputation of off night. And, as of right now, with Erik Spoelstra continuing to tweak the lineups, you've seen him as a starter, you've seen him off the bench, and, he's mentioned that he doesn't necessarily care whether or not he's starting. It's just a matter of he needs to be playing because he really feels he can make a difference. And thus far, man, of the three that we've picked up, I really feel that have really, significantly affected this team. Between Slow-Mo, Wiggins, and Davion, he's probably been the most consistent pickup of the three.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
you know what you're going to get on a night-to-night basis because
that's what I'm saying.
His game is not based on scoring.
Yeah, for sure. And and that's good. That's good because we have other people who should be taking on that responsibility. But he's really lived up to it in regards to being that pesky defensive presence that we need.
Now I'm excited for Nico to get back.
It seems like things are lining up where it could be a too little too late situation, but we're starting to get a little bit healthier. We're starting to really click and understand, trust the process, if you will, not to quote that failing Philadelphia organization, but they've all been saying it, man. They haven't switched anything. They haven't done anything different. The victories are just beginning to pile up, and hopefully they continue to do so. Hopefully
Not for nothing. Does seem like they're making a lot more shots.
It does. It does. It does indeed.
Like maybe the energy and the effort may be the same.
Yeah.
But the bucket getting has been a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. And that's
I
good.
think it all turned around.
Yeah.
When Bam started being more aggressive.
I think so as well.
That freed up the other guys. And now Tyler can cook. Now Wiggins can cook. And you still have your guys coming off the bench that contribute. So, there's guys that you don't know how much they're going to contribute, but as they've been playing currently, the three guys who are going to be the catalyst behind scoring.
Yeah, and I just want to say you're welcome for that. I think my tough love on Bam at the beginning of the season really weighed on him until he finally just had enough and decided, you know what? It's time for me to prove Marcos right.
I don't think that's what that was. Okay.
Well, I mean, we can't thank Leroy. Leroy embarrassed the man in dominoes to begin the season. You had him shook for a couple weeks. So I just look.
Okay.
I'm not going to
Wasn't
take
he
credit
the one
for
that
it.
won?
Who, Bam?
No,
Supposedly, but after reviewing the footage, we found out Bam cheated. Bam was cheating.
There's a bunch of different ways to play dominoes.
Yeah.
If I'm playing dominoes a certain way and he's playing a different way,
I mean, you guys should have established it from the very beginning.
I
That's
thought,
true.
to
That's
be honest
true.
with you, I thought
That's true.
dominoes was only played a certain way.
Yeah. With
Like, if
integrity.
we playing,
You guys played
if
a
we
couple
playing
games
here,
for you to not
if we
be
playing
nice
to keep score,
Oh,
that's fine. That should have been identified in the beginning,
Mm.
right? I was playing to keep the down and get the points that way, and that's where the miss. It put it this way,
Yeah.
it won't happen again.
All right.
And the next time we play,
Yeah.
it's gonna be clear who the best dominoes player is. Because
All
there's a couple
you?
of things. There's a
Maybe.
there's a couple of things that I need to make sure that we clarify before we start.
Look, do whatever you need to do. Take whatever precautions necessary because I don't want to hear any excuses next year.
Oh,
you.
there's no excuses. No excuses. None
Uh,
whatsoever.
I do want an opportunity now. If you are listening or watching, this is your chance to see the drama unfold in person at the Kaseya Center next Friday, April 3rd. We got a family 4-pack of Heat tickets that we are giving away to caller Vlad. What caller? Caller
Let's see. What's Ja's number? 12?
12. Yes. Caller number 12.
Caller number
You already starting this nonsense.
12.
Y'all know Tobin is
That's
back.
not retired here. Right?
Leroy.
Tobin's
look
somewhere.
at Tobin,
Leroy.
look at this.
Tobin is like, Leroy, I go on vacation. What happened? The Miami Heat, they win 3 in a row. We get revenge on Jimmy, that Benedict Arnold, that traitor, because that's gonna be the whole gonna be the whole narrative now that the game is over and the Heat won.
Correct.
And look what happens in the backgrounds. Oh, Taylor Jenkins and Memphis Grizzlies. The old Grizzlies firing their coach 2 weeks before the season ends. Ja Morant reportedly not happy.
There it goes. There it goes.
I have a question.
There it goes.
With what Ja's been through the last couple of years,
Miami
can he
coming
be the
down here?
guy?
Oh,
Can he
coming
be the
down
guy
here?
to be making those statements? Because they've been more patient with him.
He's been a good guy this year. He's
I
been
know,
no
but
trouble.
I'm just saying that understanding what has happened in recent history and how they supported him and stayed behind him, could he be the guy that says, you know what, I'm not happy, change needs to happen? Right?
Tweet that says all John needs is Udonis Haslam. Keep him in line. Hey, he was able to keep Michael Beasley in line.
Kinda.
Listen, man, things are starting to look good. I'm hearing this.
Ooh-wee. Come on now. Hey, listen.
And then now you're hearing whale sound effects. Like, this could be very, very good off season for Los Heat.
But you know that in the next couple of years, this team is going to get younger. And I don't know, like any of those guys you talk about bringing in besides Phoenix, Kevin Durant, is going to make your team even younger. So how is everybody going to be prepared for that?
Look, I don't want to say that Frog Week saved South Florida sports, but Vlad said it essentially. In this week alone.
Wait, what?
That's what Vlad said. I'm just quoting Vlad.
Vlad never
this week alone, Marlins
Frog Week.
victory. No, you said since he's been gone. You just said it a different way. Since Tobin's been gone, all these great things have happened. But what else has happened since Tobin's been gone?
Your internet went out yesterday.
Correct. All a part of the plan. All a part of the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Caller number 12 right now, 305-567-0560. You will win tickets to see Miami Heat's newest star, Ja Morant. But before you do, Leroy, can you please tell us about Live
Yes,
Golf?
I can. Next weekend, April 4th through the 6th, Live Golf returns to Trump National Doral. And because it's at the Blue Monster, they're going big. Join some of the giants of the game and John Rahm, Bryce Chambo, Brooks Koepka. We got Phil Mickelson. We got Sergio Garcia, all major championship winners, by the way. So you're seeing some of the best. They've got huge DJ sets, epic street food, and ska punk legend Sublime headlining a concert on Saturday night. Grab your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It is time now to bury some people. It is our favorite Friday game and the perfect way to end Frog Week. That is to announce who or what is dead to me. I have two nominees. I will start things off. Number one is going to shock you guys. But then when you realize why, it won't shock you that much. But our Miami Marlins started their season victorious in all ways but one. The fact that you got rid of Jessica, you bastards. As if getting rid of Jazz Chisholm and Giancarlo Stanton and Miguel Cabrera and every other Marlin to come through these walls and leave to greener pastures. It is absolutely unacceptable that we can't maintain talent down here. It is absolutely insane.
Maybe she's doing better. Maybe she's
no. She needs to be better for me.
Well, you took too long.
Us.
Took too long. I can't be there before the season starts, Figgy. Then that'd be weird.
Can't. You know what? You could have been there when you saw her last season.
I should have went to Marlins Fans Fest. Maybe she was just off. Maybe she's on vacation.
There's a listener that knows exactly who we're talking about, and I think is like is friends with her. I forgot his name.
Well, I don't know. We're a big fan of her talent, of her assets.
Maybe she is at Cheetahs now.
You know why? Why would you say that?
Assets. It's like things that you can acquire over
definition.
And move.
That is my nominee number one for Dead to Me. The next one, I'm going to kind of tiptoe on this one because I'm not sure yet the severity of the situation, and I feel kind of bad commenting on it. But I'm going to have to do this anyway, just because it is notoriously known, and it happened to me yesterday. I was a victim of the bright line curse, ladies and gentlemen.
You're dead to me.
On my way to Orlando yesterday, after a series of events, I decided it'd be best for my family and I to purchase a bright line ticket and make our way up to Orlando in a smooth 2 hour and 45-minute commute. Only thing is, the bright line, and of course, we get into an accident after striking something, causing a 2.5 hour delay.
Are you serious?
On my bright line. Moments after my wife, which I could never talk to her about, and say, she's like, it's crazy. Isn't the bright line always getting into these little crazy little and then just 2 stops away.
What is it with you women? What is it, women? They always
manifesting. I really do not.
Why do you put that out there in the ether?
You have to speak for your ladies. Why do you guys always predict?
Was she wrong though? Was she wrong?
Unfortunately,
she was just saying facts. Okay.
The thought process.
They know, bro.
Is the reason. It's like,
you know what? Put her on the show.
She put the mush on it.
She
didn't put no mush. Okay, they brought that upon themselves.
They got the biggest mushes.
She says it was her intuition that
it's always
mother's intuition.
Mother's intuition.
No,
woman's intuition.
That wasn't woman. That wasn't mother's intuition.
Yeah,
that was just women's intuition of causing an accident.
I think it was both. I think it
was a mother bleeping inconvenience. That's what that was. But nonetheless, hopefully no one got hurt, of course. God bless everyone that was involved. I did find it weird at a certain point, though. They did ask us to close our shades out of respect.
They do that.
Okay. I was like, out of respect.
It is a known thing.
What are we talking about here? But yes, those are my nominees. Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, something serious may have happened. It was a lot of cops. Anyway, that was my nomination for Dead to Me. Leroy, what do you got?
So I had a little chili pepper last night.
Ooh.
And originally I was gonna bet Alabama, right? But then I was watching ESPN, and it was only a $10 chili pepper.
Okay.
Right, nothing serious. I just wanted a little action.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? He's got a point with BYU. Right?
He did not.
And I'm gonna say this to the man on ESPN that makeup on. What's his name? Fortenbaugh.
Joe Fortenbaugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who got me to change my mind with all his analytics and stuff, only to watch my $10 go out the door because mysteriously he said Alabama doesn't really shoot the three well. And lo and behold,
no, that guy was shooting.
They was all out there like Steph Curry, right? So he's dead to me. I'm not listening to him no more. I don't care how much information he brings to the table.
Wow.
If you say it wasn't,
and I shouldn't
serious,
listen to
then why is it
somebody
dead
with
for you
makeup.
today?
Oh man.
That again?
If it wasn't so serious and it was just $10, why is he dead to you today?
Because I should have went with my
Seems
own.
serious.
I should have went with my own thing.
Your intuition.
Yeah.
You should have went with your male intuition.
Yeah, I should have went. I've been picking the games pretty good. I got 6 of the 8 teams. I could have 6 of the 8
So you're
teams.
just mad that you didn't listen to your intuition. Right?
I did not. Right. But it's his fault. He's
I
dead
don't think
to me.
so. I don't think so. He was just going with his intuition.
I just looked up the article Dane South posted there. I feel a little bit bad for bringing this person up now.
Went past.
It says
yeah.
The headline here says 1 dead after Bright Line train crash in downtown Fort Pierce. Ugh.
You were halfway through too.
Well then. God bless him. Vlad or Figgy? Figgy, do you have a dead to me?
Yeah. Kind of you, because you never got to Ultra Trivia.
Oh,
you got me excited, and look at you. You never got to it.
Jennifer was studying. She knew all of her ultra stats.
Oh, no.
She was ready to go.
I went through my old pictures just to make sure I remembered everything. And look,
damn,
you let me down.
I did mention that. I remember like earlier on in the week, and I think I remember her saying, "Oh yeah, no, that'll be good. That'll be good." Like she was really waiting for that. I'm so sorry.
I was excited.
I apologize. I let you down.
You let down myself and the listeners because they were also excited.
That's true. Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. You win some, you lose a lot when you're me.
So I expect trivia soon.
That's fair. That is fair. I owe you one, and I promise I will make that right. Vlad, do you have a nominee to bury this week?
I have many nominees.
Oh, you know what?
It's two. It's two nominees. They're repeat offenders.
Repeat. Okay, let's hear it.
Not having Jessica serving me up the Marlins at Lone Depot Park.
That is rough.
That girl was eyeing you, so you know what? She could have been Jessica 2.0.
No, it's just no. That wasn't Jessica 2.0. That was Jessica
Janine
5.0.
-5.
Janine, yeah, come on, Janine.
God bless you. Yeah, God bless
To
you.
be honest, I don't remember how Jessica
Marcos,
looked like.
you saw Janine and we saw Jennifer.
Yeah,
I mean,
Janine has a great personality.
Janine's great personality.
Great personality for sure.
Jessica has assets.
Quite a few assets. She's liquidated her assets for sure.
I hope
She's a
not,
bartender.
but she's definitely a bartender.
Okay, so
you,
me,
you.
Why? I was already.
This could have been a great Frog week.
Yeah,
no. Yesterday, you wanted to play Frogger. 1 minute you're at home, next minute you're at the Improv.
Hopping around.
I give him props though because
1
he
minute
tried to
you're
fix the
bedroom.
situation.
With a bedazzled mic, the next minute you're in a sleeper cell. I didn't get it.
If you see a bedazzled mic, chances are it's not going to work properly. So
that was fair. So you're saying I was hopping all around the city,
dude? There was a time we came back. You in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was.
I like that.
That was probably not my best moment. Probably not my best.
The worst moment was when the phone was in the fridge. You forgot your phone was in the
Sometimes you've never done that. No one else has ever done that before.
I've done that.
And spent 20 minutes looking for your phone. You realize it's in the
like,
fridge.
wait a minute. All of a sudden, I was like, damn, it's cold.
Well, look, a 4 out of 5 is not bad. Go on, 4 out of 5. Come on, give me something. Come on, 80%.
Hey, man, that's passing. That's passing. You're a B. That's B average.
Look, come on. This is just like my high school career, academically, of course. I'll take that. You know, that's not bad. I could have been better. It's not what happens. It's how you react.
No.
This morning,
it's how you finish
what
it.
Did Smith have said? This is why restraining orders were invented.
Because they were talking about the assets. Yeah.
Yes. If you're listening, Jessica.
I agree.
Yeah, I've left I've left my keys in so many crazy places because when you're doing other stuff,
Yeah, like
right, you ain't paying attention.
things happen, all right. But I came.
You know
back
what else
early.
I've lost a lot?
That's happened to me too.
Okay.
Hey,
That's
I've you know how many wedding rings I've lost? Because when I wash my hands, I take it off.
You know how many husbands have said that to us?
No, but I told my wife when we first got
I
married.
trust Leroy. I trust Leroy.
When I got married, I said, do not spend a lot of money on a wedding band for me and buy 3 of them.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm walking around
you
with
can't say that to her.
No, for sure. Absolutely not.
You can't get
in
no
regards.
You can't get
No, because I told her I don't wear rings.
I trust Leroy when he says these things,
So
but everybody else,
it's not.
don't.
It's not.
I'll trust him, huh?
It has nothing to
trust
do
You see
about.
with jewelry, JFig?
Yeah, but I also know what you gave up for Lent, so don't trust you.
It's
Ooh.
awkward. It's awkward, like just having a ring on.
Well,
How is
ladies,
it awkward?
Huh?
How
Just
is that
having it on my
awkward?
finger, not being married.
Okay, yeah.
Ethan, that's so foul, man.
Wow.
So just like a football, Leroy is known for fumbling wedding rings.
Not
Oh,
fumbling,
damn.
not fumbling, but I don't like the ickiness underneath my finger in the ring when I wash my hands. So
You know
I
what I mean?
take it off and then I sometimes forget.
Famous last words by soon
No.
to be, soon to be grooms.
Now, yesterday I was chastised via text message for starting the Hockman and Crowder show at 2:06. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here on time today for the first time this week and give them an opportunity to start right on time. And of course, I'm leaving on time on a Friday, right?
Yes, you are.
That is no accident, of course. I want to thank you guys for joining us all week and sticking through the chaos and the mayhem. We did it. I want to thank Vlad for holding down the production chair, Leroy for making sure that we had that bit of realism and analytical point of view that we needed. JFig, thank you for joining us as usual, making sure that we look pretty on this YouTube and Twitch stream. Ladies and gentlemen, Frog Week has concluded. We have Hockman and Crowder coming up next. We will see you next week. Whoop, whoop.